So you see, this is what I've been trying to say. The future should start now.
Yeah.
And he threw in Prince. He threw in Prince in there. And the dynamics of the game changed. The dynamics of the game changed. Attacking minded. Nana Bill, Nana Shon Fusire. Those are the boys we want.
Let them lose, but at least
exactly get to know each other. You see, and I've got one question to you guys in the UK. Has anyone ever approached him?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure when they came back in the knees na Magwezi, if they did. I'm not
because
sure.
Look, I'll tell you what. I know what he dreams of playing for the Three Lions, and he plays for under 21 or what, aren't? But look at boys like Anna, Michael Olise, these French-born boys that grew up in academies at the UK. Someone must have said something to them. Look, in as much as you want to play Three Lions, but your country in the EU, think about it. You don't end up like Eddie Nketiah. You know, Nketiah Spaka Pepe Arsenal.
Exactly.
And then 1-2 line to line collapse. And that was now he wants to go back to Ghana. And those guys are saying, but Miles, when we wanted you didn't want us. But before we accuse these boys of not wanting to play, has someone approached them and Kugaranavo pass? These boys need to be told that no pass. When you boys, the trajectory, you're on the right trajectory, and you could play for Three Lions. But for how many games? But you're guaranteed to put every game uchatamba and you'll be starting, you'll be the man iwewe. You know what I mean? So and I think this is where at times we also need to improve as a country, as a football association, could have people, my brand ambassador vibe, my brand ambassadors vibe. Ndo basa rawo, not to in Zimbabwe, ndo basa rawo, get Peter and Lufu to go and talk to those boys. Do you think if Peter goes there, Peter and Bruce and Moses Chunga, if they're going to talk to those boys, you think those boys won't listen?
No,
Benjan, you think those boys won't listen? They will listen. Look at the caliber of the people. They will listen. They will definitely listen. So, brand ambassador yes, Sitaka. I want to brand ambassador action. I didn't brand ambassador we want action.
They have to be given a role. Yeah,
exactly.
Brand ambassador.
Imagine having ana Meuka, and then nafana vamwe vacho is it Norwich, nefana Wolves, all those boys, giving a coach those, like such a pool of players to choose from there. Because my levels bora eluga akato siana. Most of those guys went about Algeria. You know that they play second league even in France. But look how they shine in Kanwa.
Yeah, they are used to professional football.
Mushi.
Anyway, let me welcome you.
Hello.
Welcome to all those who are viewing. We've got the former Caps Junior Project, Mr. Ray, on the line. Mr. Ray, I'm set on magazoite in Caps. Mango on my temporal Caps. But we just do it at the same time.
Boraka Woma Shamba. You was Boraka Woma.
Yeah, and we've got the former Caps United Sporting Lions midfielder. You were a striker as well when you came to the UK.
Striker midfielder.
Yes.
Kwese Caps Sporting ndakatamba mberi nemidres.
Yes. Yeah. Mr. Kelvin Mushambi on the line. He's an English FA qualified coach. So when he speaks, you listen because it's not nonsense. He knows what he's saying. Yeah. Anyway, James Taroa, Atuzia Taroa. But I think I want to start with positives. Saray had picked up a few positives when you were speaking, and I think it's good for us to start with positives. Start with Tuka. And also gents. Given that, hello, Mr. Boli Chaduka, another one of our panelists.
Achiri murodha atanga kumbobuda hanzi ndakumbobuda ndinotenderera.
Yeah, so the funny story that happened with bowlers today is the game started and Taro had 2-0. Bowlers couldn't watch anymore, and he said he left the TV and he just started driving around.
Munofana mabhora yako mana.
Yeah, now I'm on my way home now. Yeah.
You're on your way home. All right. Eat it, bro.
But it is a BP. Man, Kevin, ndatopfeka kiti yangu yaoba handisina kushandisa dhise yanda kushandisa nekuse ndakutonotraina ndega zvangu.
Wauda kuzvitambira wega ka?
Wauda kuzvitambira wega orowa nespace.
Zvina mabhora yaoba atori nani.
Mabhora aya man, mabhora.
Yeah, there's anyway. Positives. There's a few positives there. Yeah.
Yeah, you can start Black Eve.
No, botanga nambonzgova.
All right, I'll start with my own positive. Okay. The first half was very difficult to watch, but number one, although we were beaten 3-1, I'm a bit positive about the coach because I think he has got balls. The balls that he had, although it may have been a negative, he dropped all those senior guys and said he sort of made a I don't care attitude. I don't know what happened in the camp. We don't know that. But the positive for me was that he was prepared to play the youngsters today, and we saw a bit of the youngsters. So that's one positive for me. Then number two, there are a few players that I liked their performances. I maybe I've got a bias, but I like Jonah. I think he keeps things very simple. He gets the ball, you play the next pass, the next person, which is, I think, something which is very essential if you're playing as a CDM. You pick the next pass, simple, keep it simple. Don't lose the ball in my areas that are unnecessary. Of course, he has got things to work on because he may be a bit tentative, but I like that about him. What else did I like? I like the halftime subs. I liked the energy that Prince had when he came on. I think he put a bit of pressure on Berry that Navaya couldn't do. Unfortunately, the first 45 minutes was very difficult because we couldn't even build. But second half, you could see at least Prince was pressing from the front. He was running into the channels for the balls. Second thing, I liked Chirewa when he came on. I think kusaburwa kwaita or kupinzwa second half kwaita, he came in as someone who had a point to prove, and he started creating more opportunities. He was very confident with the ball. He was doing the unexpected that we expect from our forwards or the attacking midfielders. I really liked Chirewa, and I think one of his attacks then led to the penalty. I liked the awareness to be able to know kuti ndakusvika box, because that challenge happened yatangira outside the box, but he continued until he was in the box in a position where you could win a penalty, and he won the penalty for us, which he scored. So yeah, those are some of my positives.
My positives on this, it's not I'm going to talk more about the collective unit rather than individuals. I've seen, or I can mention the ones you've mentioned. Jonah, he's, I think Jonah does what you expect him to do, and sometimes people forget that he plays in Germany. Yeah. That's what they do. They simplify football. It's just that we seem like we're not privy to understanding, German ways of playing football and how effective they are. There's certain places, areas, or players in certain areas who have to drive with the ball, but he does the very simple. When you look at John, I just think I'm not trying in any way to compare him with this player, but I'm just saying the nature of play. Look at Tony Cruz.
Yeah.
Just simple. Simple but effective. So I think, and again, like I said before, and I suppose when I say this, there's a friend of mine, I'm sure on WhatsApp, who's thinking, you love, you bigging Jonah ahead of, but that's I think you guys know me well, that I hammer everyone and I give credit to everyone as well. Yeah. And so I think he still got a lot to learn. But if you see the last time that he played and today, you already see a difference. Yeah. And then Chirewa, I think Chirewa, I don't know whether it's so much about having a point to prove, but I think every player who's on the bench, if you come on, you've got to show that you want it. You want to prove the manager wrong. That's what you should be doing in football. And to be honest, he came in there, and what I liked is not about the good things, just the good things he did, but Chirewa talks. I like that about a player. He talks. He's a young lad, but you see him talking. To whoever, go there, do this, do that. Because football, you need players who can talk. Because if you quiet in there, there's a lot of mistakes. And if you remember, obviously, I had and I'll bring it back to one of the chats yesterday that we had on WhatsApp, when I was saying, when I was saying what's his name, Mave, was at fault for the goal against Lesotho. Yeah, the simple reason being that not so much about whether you've run into that, into a channel or whatever, but the fact that you're not talking. Yeah, you can cost the team because you're not talking. Because in that instance, what he did was, for starters, he wasn't marking. Yeah, he wasn't picking anyone. Manetsi was in the middle of two midfielders. He should have been picking in the other midfielder. So he was on the right side of play, and the midfielders, one is central and one is on the left. Manetsi is in the middle. Then Manetsi, he feigns, like he's going to attack, the guy who scored. Then he realizes he won't win it, and then he goes back. He starts running back. So communication now, where Mave is now, Mave should just be saying, someone said mopping. There was no mopping there because Galloway was mopping. So you say to Galloway, close that run, and you stay central so that the ball is not played. But what he did was, he looked like, oh yeah, I'm going to run towards that player. Yeah, you might run to him, but you're just selling yourself, because all he did was put the ball back where you come from, and they've scored. That's communication. That's lack of talking. So now coming back into this now, that's why I said players like Chireo, what I like about him is that he talks. He's not shy. Many a times young players are quite shy. They just concentrate on themselves. Yeah. So that's a positive for me, to see someone trying to sort of direct things in there. The other thing, I don't know whether I would say it's positive, but I agree with the manager to start with, when we started, because it was always going to be a tall order against Algeria, and to sit there, the first, maybe I would have preferred maybe sit maybe the first 20 minutes or so, just assess, how things are, because that your players are not used to the system. Your players, haven't played together, even in that system. Even if it was the 4-3-3, your players, the ones we are playing today, have not actually played together. That's 11. And so you then playing against Algeria, experienced lads, who've played together for a while and all. So it can be difficult. So just sitting there and sort of sizing them up was okay. Obviously, we concede stupid goals, and that's what happens, when you have players who are not switched on, because many a times it's about being switched on. So I can't. It's difficult, to say much, regarding negativity, but I still have negative things to say anyway. But we're still looking at the positives, yeah. And second half was good. Second half was no. I'm wrong if
we won one.
Let me not say good. Let me not say good. We were okay. We were okay. For starters, sometimes when you're playing against a team which is leading 3, sometimes they take the foot off the pedal. But sometimes as well, you can force them to, sort of hang back a little bit, because you are trying to get something out of it. So you become more aggressive in your play. And I think with Chirewa, the substitutions, what they actually changed, the game. I started seeing the started seeing the striker making a few moves, making the necessary runs. Even when he's not winning the ball, he was still, tussling with those defenders. He didn't make it easier for them like they were having it, first half. And for a game like that, with how it looked like, to then lose 3-1, maybe that's a positive, because I was worried we could be embarrassed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, I'm not really concerned about the scoreline. Like it is what it is. It's a friendly game. But the biggest positive is this guy. He kept all the big guns out, putting the young fellas in there. You see, that kind of approach. This is what I've always been clamoring for. We need a coach who sees like the future of the team, of the country lies in the young fellas, right? Bring them, play them, let them know you want them there. Okay. The fact that he played them, he has already told them unspoken words. He's already let them know he wants them there. Okay, I'll continue later.
Okay.
I actually feel jealous, because imagine, that was my biggest point that I wanted to say and I forgot it. But maybe I would have said it later on,
That's your point.
The one thing, that mattered then, and Ray is right. Football, I could see some frustrations even on the group, with how things were going and all. But I always say football is not just played over 90 minutes. I've always said this: football is played from training to eating to sleeping to doing the right things, the discipline and all that. Yeah. And that's why I refused, when I saw that this coach was being hammered for, the selection, and why is this player not playing and all that. And I said, you know what? I'm not going to comment anything, because at the end of the day, I was then giving an alternative. You saying the coach this, but also the coach could be right in the sense that he's not played these players. For me, if some of the players, like someone like Mave, and again, I have to pick on Mave because I like him. He's a good lad. Mave, I know Mave. I've met him personally, yeah. And I like him, and I've always wanted him to do well. But we talked about how he was unfit the last time, yeah. So if this coach is coming and Mave, I don't know if Mave has been playing, because I've not seen, anything about Mave playing, unless he's played for under 20.
He's not playing.
Yeah. So if the coach is saying you're not playing there, so you're not match fit, you're not playing, I understand that and I agree with that. And this coach, like what Ray said, for him to bring in the young lads, he's already put a point. Whatever reasons today that he dropped all those other players, what he's done is he's put a marker. He's put a marker and said, I can lose with the young ones, just like the team has been losing with the old guard. So there's no difference. So if I'm going to have to go with the young ones, I will go with the young ones because the difference is the same. At least with the young ones, you know that they're developing. Yeah. So that's a marker normally of a good manager. I'm not talking about him as a coach now. I'm talking about him as a manager and say, if you think Zemura cannot be dropped and then he's not playing, Zemura will up his game because he's thinking this manager, this is not Nice who would play me every single game. This manager could drop me. This manager could drop me. It's psychological. Those things work, for footballers because footballers sometimes we get to a point where we relax, where we get so used to the environment and we know we're always going to get picked. Marvin knows that he will be picked in the squad. Zemura knows he will be picked in the squad. Musona knew he would be picked in the squad. All these players, they would know that they will be picked in the squad, yeah? And there comes a manager who says, maybe not. Maybe maybe it's that manager who was picking you, but I'm picking you on merit. Yeah? We've got a good example today. Everyone going on about Jude Bellingham, yeah? And he's one of my favorites. But you know what Tuchel said? Now Rodgers is playing well tonight. Rodgers is starting on the bench. And it looks like a probably starting 11 for the World Cup or whatever, yeah? Is it the World Cup? Is it? Yeah. So what does that do to Jude Bellingham? You actually start thinking, I play for Real Madrid, but I could be in trouble here. And this is what players need. And I've seen, for me personally, I've seen Zemura, and I like him. He works hard and all that. But I've seen a bit of arrogance with him in the game, like, I just belong here. I'm just going to be here, because I'm Zemura. Yeah. And that manager and that coach is saying, you're Zemura, you need Zemura. You might not be, that's Zemura to me. So we might have got someone who can actually change the mindset of players, and you need that. Someone who comes in and says, you know what, I don't care who you are. If you don't do A, B, C, D, you're not in. If you do A, B, C, D, you're in. Yeah. So today, after what we saw, Mave right now will be thinking, bloody hell, I could be out. Because Jonah didn't do anything special, but he did enough to convince the manager that he belongs. The exact word that Ray used. The players now, every single player who played in there knows that I can get a chance, with this manager.
Those are positives. Those are positives. So, any other positive performances that you saw from the players? Besides Chirewa?
Look, call me, whatever you want to say. Maybe I might just have a soft spot for Chirewa, but I think that boy is who he thinks he is. Okay, I'm gonna start there. He knows what he can do. Okay, and he started on the bench. He's got this pride about himself. He's put on the bench, so his mind is eating at him like, I'm not supposed to be sitting down here. So he's thinking, once I get in there, I'm going to show the coach who I am, right? He gets in there and he does exactly that. He does exactly that to say, coach, you put me on the bench, but this is who I am, okay? Now, every other young player that played today is thinking, so if I can start before Jordan, if I can start before Marvin, if I can start before Knowledge, what then should I do to keep starting? Which means I need to up my game so when these boys go back, to their respective clubs, I'm telling you, it's going to be fire, because now they know, and every other young player in Zimbabwe knows I stand a chance with this coach. If he can do that, then I also stand a chance. This is the main management we want. And on the talking aspect, Mushi, if talking helps in a lot of situations. If a opponent's got a ball and you're next to your teammate, if you tell him go and close that one, I'm here. If you go and close him, you are changing his decision that he had already made. He changed it, so you have an advantage over that. But if you don't, the time you want to react, he's going to do something that's going to kill all of us. That goal against Lesotho. If Mave had positioned himself in a position to, and then Mashi had already gone where he was going, they're going to change that goal dynamic of that play. So for young Chirewa to talk, that's good. That's a good trait to have in a player. Every other player must talk. If every other player talks, you're not going to sleep, because if I keep quiet, Kev is going to say something to me. If I don't watch what I'm doing, OJ is going to say something to me. If I keep quiet, Chadoka is going to say something. So now you mind, you're always alert. You're always alert. Where am I? Who's there? Who am I taking? If I take that on, who's going to come here? No, I would like the moment to say, you come there. All right? These boys need to be talking more. If there's no talk, we're all quiet. And we all make mistakes, and then we're going to think, let's hope some journalist is going to give me 7 out of 7.0. See my rating. I'm going to get 7.0 rating, hopefully. And then let's go back to young Jonah Fabish.
Yeah.
Young Jonah Fabish. Look at all the German midfielders. It's only now that Josh Kimmich. Okay, I know he's another level, but before when Josh Kimmich came, that's all he used to do. You'd win the ball and just play it away. Simplify things. Your job is clean up the mess. Help the defense clean up the mess. That's what Jonah does. But Jonah needs to be tweaked here and there. Like Jonah, at times go forward. If you've got space, go forward. And then you've got Galloway. The experience. You could see the experience. Where he runs, how he tackles. When Galloway is going for tackles, he doesn't go there. Galloway goes in hard. It's that EPL thing in him coming out. So if these youngsters are watching him, they can see, but Blas goes in hard. So I should also go in hard. So what we're doing is, the mixture, you're getting it in there. And then my point again, OJ, do we have people talking to young Meuka and all these boys? I know they dream of playing for the Three Lions, but what are the chances? But the thing is, in Shona we say 0-0. Go and talk to him now. Like, make the young man see the light. Like, look, we know you want to play for Three Lions, but what if it doesn't work? Are you going to be another Edin Ketia? Are you going to be another Hudson Odoi? Let him know the truth. Tell him the facts. Are you going to be another Hudson Odoi? 2 caps and then they throw you on the sideline. Or you'd rather be the main man for your nation, where when they're calling players up, your name is number 1 on the list. Make him feel wanted. Make him feel special. I'm telling you, if these ambassadors, like I said, if they are sent to talk to those boys, that boy will listen to Grobela and Peter and Benjani just like that, quick. Even Ukevi, he will listen to you. But Zip has to bring that mandate to you and these other guys and say, talk to that youngster. We need him now. He's doing things under 21. We need him now. All those boys are needed now. Have all these youngsters to come in and let that coach be spoiled for choice.
Yeah.
True. Very true.
Coach Kevi, are you aware of any communications that were made to Meuka, Pakawayanis, na Makwezi to the UK?
Communication nani?
Is there any communication that was made to Nana, Mpana, Meuka, Shumi Meuka, this Chelsea young boy, when Makwezi and me came to the UK?
Right. So when they came to UK, and I was supposed to go to the first meeting, which was with the ambassador here, which was in London, but unfortunately I was not available then, so I didn't go to that. And I was briefed about what happened there, and then I went to the Birmingham one. And we had a bit of a chat, and basically, like I've said before, that's where I just realized that Nice wasn't my cup of tea, and from the way that things were being said, it seems like, you see, I think people didn't open up about these players as much as they wanted to, because the arrogance had set in already with Nice. It was almost like he was saying, "Wow, you know what? You can tell me about all these players, but I know what it's like
I
here."
don't care.
Yeah, it was almost like it didn't need any evidence, any sort of advice from people, regarding the players. So we actually had some players, I remember I was shown a few pro, pro players, and some who are playing in the conference as well, good kids, and who were actually there, who actually came to the meeting with their parents.
Yeah.
And I didn't see a platform where people were really sort of made to feel that they can at least be looked at or being given a chance. It didn't come across, like that, for me, because obviously we were in after the, but the public meeting, we had a bit of a, catch up, privately. But no, I just felt like it wasn't a. If it was a fact-finding mission, it was for something else and not players, in my opinion.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So yeah.
Kurovama round.
That's a bad
Shona
thing.
we say Kurovama round.
Avoid roam around.
Yeah.
Hey.
Okay. I didn't really want to touch on too many negatives today, but we just go into them quickly. The negatives for me were, I think, I couldn't really see the shape that we had in the first half, especially the first 30 minutes. And maybe I would attribute it to I couldn't see kuti Sean ari assigned Kupi, Karanganga ari assigned Papi, Pana Maskwanisi ari assigned Papi. So that wing was targeted, the right wing was being targeted a lot by Algeria, and I think that's where most of the attacks came from. But I would attribute it to being maybe a defense that hasn't played together before, really, and so the structure was not really there. So that was one of the negatives, and then another negative would have been because we were not playing, we did not have any patterns of play. The likes of Pana Maswanise didn't have any platform to shine because I think his wing was reduced to a physical battle, and he's a slight boy. If you want him to shine, put the ball into space, and then he can do his magic. But to get him physically against my fullback, I think that was a tall order for him. Then the other negative, I'm not sure if we can blame Navaya or we can blame the system again. Navaya didn't have any opportunity to shine there. Then again, I don't think physically he was able to be a target man in terms of being given a long ball, tripartite, to hold it, and then bring his wingers into play. He was not able to do that. The full balls that he got, he was just bullied off. And I didn't see any patterns in terms of his runs into the channels or him showing for the ball or his pressing. So I really don't want the conversation to degenerate into local versus foreign, but maybe we can say it was because he's not used to his teammates. And yeah, I think the same thing almost affected Mfana Sean as well. He didn't, I think there was not enough time to shine win so it was a bit tricky. Then for the first goal, I saw a lot of ball watching from former teenage Adebe. So yeah, it was a disaster class in the first half. I'm glad that it improved in the second half. I don't know what you guys saw as well.
Yeah, Ray, what I wanna first stuff, I think.
Andina,
Okay, so I have to answer that, yeah.
You have
Okay, all right, okay. Right. So, straight ahead. That was 5-4-1. That was 5-4-1 formation. Yeah.
yeah,
So he had three center halves. Yeah, he had three center halves in there, and he had two fullbacks. They were fullbacks. They were not
mhm,
wingbacks. Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
because they were a line. They were right in line, and
yeah, yeah,
it was when we were able to push the ball forward that you could see them at least, moving a little bit. So
yeah,
the that's why I said Algeria wasn't the greatest, team to have the first game, with this coach, on the basis that, it's just, it's a strong team, even if they play their second 11, they just that good. And now what happened was that manager went in there rightfully looking at trying to be defensive, and then with time you gradually get into the game. So what was happening is he had five, and then he had four.
yeah,
The four now, there were four, which included the players who we rely on as outlets, like Maswani said, yeah. But Maswani,
yeah,
because we had that four, they were going in line as well, like from pushing from left to right, yeah, from left to right in a four like that, and then we left one, the striker, what's his name?
number,
Uh, yeah, we left him there. So the expectation was that when we win the ball, we can try to play it. If we can't play it at his feet because it might be crowded, from where he is, then we try to play it into the channel, and maybe he can, hang on to the ball even 2-3 seconds for us to be able to come out and start, and have a bit of a high line rather than that defensive part. But because he was not able to do that, our defense, our back five, could rarely come out of our half or could rarely come out
yeah,
of our defending third because of that, because we kept on losing the ball. And now you have players like Maswani say you want him to be wide, on a half turn, then attacking defenders. And because he was starting from a defensive position where he had our goal, he had the back, he had his back to our goal. Yeah. And the emphasis was on winning the ball because we were never going to have that ball for long. So it
yeah,
was almost like we just have 9 players who are doing a lot of work. Whilst the ball is being recycled by Algeria, we just following. If we win the ball and have 2-3 touches, we give it back again. We defending again.
mhm,
So you were never going to see us shining there unless if we had a striker who, if the ball is pinged, to his feet, he keeps it. He's that strong that he can keep it and wait for at least one midfielder to get to him. So when people talk about these formations and how you can try to get out of your defending third, sometimes people, when talk is cheap, it's easy to say we get it out and then we start moving. These players, the Maswani says and all, are so deep
mhm,
that remember, not only deep, but they were chasing the ball. They were trying to get the ball. By the time you get the ball, they're still trying to get their breath back. And now you're
yeah,
expected to make that run towards your striker. Or if your striker don't get it, it's gone into the channel. You have to sprint to now try to narrow the gap, for Algeria. And that is
yeah,
difficult. That is
yeah,
difficult. So that's why I said I would have preferred if he did that for 20 minutes or so, and then gradually start even pushing the fullbacks and make them wing backs. Because we ended up giving Algeria way too much respect. And the goals came from being too cautious. Anyway, But I'm not going to blame the coach, today, because I think it's just hard. He's starting, and he's got completely new players in there. And on any other team, if you think about it, there were chances that we should have scored before even the score went to that. Just panic, because we just have players who panic in front of goal. I can remember 2 or 3, which I think, Stonewall, we should have at least a shot on target, but we didn't. And then these were getting that chance, and they scored, so it ended up 3-0. So, but second half, though, he kind of went for it a little bit, because obviously he knew that it's 3-0. You got nothing to lose, but then you actually started seeing that we could help them, because we're starting to go at them. So my hope, though, is that we start on the, we start sort of, we don't start by sitting too deep, because it's almost like we are showing that respect. And if that becomes our system, then every opposition will just think, what, they're there for the taking, So if we have players like Maswani say, I don't want to go ahead of the coach, but I don't think we should be playing 5-4-1 if we have these young lads. Our young lads are not suited for that style of play. You know what? Our young lad, with the energy that they have, you've got to have wide men. You've got to have wide men. And you ask them to do a job on the fullbacks, on the opposition fullbacks. And we know we have 3 in there. Imagine, like... on a good day, and you have Mave, no, not Mave, Monetsi, Jonah, and Fusita in there as a 3. You expect, those 3 should be able to deal with, let's say, with Algeria. If they were playing with the 3 like that, they can fight 3v3 in there, and then that.
I think Mpana Padera Futsi he's got so much energy too.
Yeah. So because sometimes your defending doesn't come from you defending, it comes from the opposition worrying that if their fullbacks bomb forward, you're going to hurt them. So this is where Maswani says come in, where, because take it this way. Let's just say when Ashley Cole was playing, it was a left back here. Ashley Cole would always bomb forward all the time. He's bombing because he was good at it. Bomb forward and all that. That's when Ronaldo came to Manchester United. And Ronaldo was, killing teams, Ashley Cole against Manchester United, he wouldn't bomb forward like he was doing, because he knew that if I bomb, he's being told by Feggy to cheat. He's saying, don't follow him, leave him. But as soon as, so the midfielders, even the other flank would tuck in to help Ronaldo. The moment they win it, bang, into there. Ashley Cole has got yards to cover to get that player. So if you hurt someone, he's not going to bomb forward. But if you don't hurt him, he will bomb forward, because he knows that you're not doing anything there. So with players like Maswani, say, in that formation, it's not going to work. But in a 3-man midfield and 3, attack, I think we can be okay. Do you know what? As much as I'm seeing, even with this, I really believe that this should be the turning point where we've got to be really serious about changing the personnel of this national team. A lot of people are not going to agree with it, because they like their usual, big, their usual names they used to, every time, you have this squad, you've got to have the Musona Billiard, Nakamba, Teenage, and blah, blah, blah. That's all. But every era has got its time. And I'm not saying that to discard the old guard, but I'm saying that if we've been losing with those players, it's okay to still lose with the young guns, but who are learning.
At least you're building.
Kev, you touched on a very important point. You know, when you have players like Mashani say, you know what he thrives on, right? So we need to bring him into the game. This is language we say, bring him into the game. How do you bring him into the game? Let's play to his strengths. Now, for us to play to his strengths, the guys in the midfield and the back line, we need to cover the gaps. If you go back the days of Jurgen Klopp, every time Man City, you know how Man City want to play, they want to play da. You see, Liverpool just stand there. Those three kings at the front, they'll just take off, targeting their back, and their back line is not known for being big. So the moment they pressurize that back line, Trent and Robertson would step forward as well. So what they've done is they've left their strikers up there, knowing for these guys to beat that and then beat me, it's a tall chance. And then the moment they win the ball, guess what? Right there, they turn around. So every time Klopp's team would force Man City to stay in their own half, because they knew if we try and go forward and don't be smart, these guys here, they are ruthless. So to bring in Masani, say, and Chirewa and all these guys, you need to have guys that are hard in the midfield, that going hard. When they go in, they cover all the gaps. When you close the gaps, quickly play Mashani, say, give him the ball. Let him do his thing. OJ, he spoke on the physical aspect. Look, the game's always going to have guys that are physically big. Look at young Chirewa. He's a small boy, that one. But look what he was doing. He's small. That boy is small. But he knows I may be small, but the skill I have, someone's going to foul me. You know, when he went to the box, he knew someone was coming for him. That boy is smart. He knew because of his stature. He knew because I'm a small guy. I'm in the box now. If this guy touches me, I'm going down. The ref is going to give me. And that's what happened. He touched him. He went down. The physical side, I don't want to put stress on it like, you have to be physically big. No. You need to be smart. The game is all about smart manipulation. You manipulate your opponent. This is what I'm always telling young boys when I talk to young boys and we're playing. Be smarter than the guy you're playing against. You look at him like, okay, what's his strength? His strength is he likes to control the ball. He likes to do this. So when before the ball gets to him, you are right there breathing in his ear. You know what you do? You're forcing him to change. Now I can't do what I want to do. Once you do that, you've disturbed their play. But the turning point, like Mushi said, it's now or never. Anakama, Nana knowledge, Nana Mave, thank you for your services, gentlemen. We appreciate you. We are thankful. Goodbye. Seriously, I have nothing against him. It's time. Every team is revolving. You need the new boys to be coming in to take over, because taking over in Bora is different from taking over per company. Company have documents that are set there for you. You just read them over and then you go. Bora, you need to bring in this young player gradually so he gets used. The experience, the experience comes. He gets used to it. He gets okay. Whenever if they're friendlies, I'm going home. I have to play. I'm going home. They're going to call me. I'm going. So it's my time to carry my nation, right? So these guys it's time for them. Ana Padera, Nana Jonah, Nana Fusire. It's time now to be saying, boys, it's your time now. Who wants it? The question now is, who wants it more than the other? Okay? And as far as I can see, Jonah wants it. Jonah, actually, I was looking second half. I saw a couple of tackles. He went in. He knew when to slide in, because he knew if I let this guy go, my backline is not there. He was sliding in, going in. That's the German thing in him, the German knowledge. Now he wants it, but we need to tweak him now. This is where the technical side of the coach has to come in. Listen, young men, every time you don't have to be cleaning up, but when you look for, there's no one there. Let's go. Take the team with you. This is where the coach has to come in. And then Masani say, tell him when we defend, yes, I want you to drop a bit, but I don't want you to come right at the back, because I need you when we go forward. You must be available when we win the ball, right? And the striker, when they changed Navaya for Prince Dube, every time Chirewa had the ball, Prince was doing what we call off the ball running. Off the ball running. Mushi knows off the ball running. You show intent, I want the ball you start running before the ball even comes to you. You catch the defender by surprise because you're already on the move. And when he's moving, the other player should pick So we give the guy with the ball two options, him or me. We're already on the move. These boys must be taught to be quick on the movement. you know, you start teaching them young. It has to be in there so that it becomes second nature to them when they play. But these youngsters, like Mushi said, they've got the energy. They want to run. Let's use that energy. Let's let them run. Those guys were older. If we had played the first half, the second half the way we did, we could have taken them. We could have taken them to the line. So this is. But I think for now, the old guard. Thank you. Sit down. Let's come and join us in the terraces. Come and join us on this podcast. Let's talk. No one hates the other. No. We have no hate. We appreciate you guys. Look. We can't hate them. Look. No. They are our countrymen. Look. We don't look. As for Marve, let me tell you, I respect Marve. Why? Because I spent half of my life in Wange. Marve is from Wange. Okay. His dad played for Wange. And Marve is the greatest thing that has come out of Wange. From being at wherever Matabele North is proud of Marve for what he's done. Marvelous Nakamba is a Tonga boy. He's done that for Matabele North. They're very proud of him. So am I. But his time is come and is gone. Okay? Let's bring another one. Same with knowledge. We appreciate you for everything you've done. You always be the smiling assassin. Zanzi knows that. We know that. Thank you. Kama, Gaucho, you did your thing. You were the man at some point. Appreciate you. Paside, Tamba, Scotland. It's time for Chirewa. It's time for Mashani. It's time for Jonah. It's time for Padera. It's time for Prince Dube. It's time for all these young guys. Kumashure Angwa still have issues because we can't take away Anna Galloway because right now I'm yet to see young defenders who can with that. You know, Galloway is so steady. At times you want Karashtamba. You know, there's a point for Manira Mundi that this guy is he really aware? Could he? But you see, it's what he did when he started getting near the guy. You know, I understand he's not interested, but the moment he got there, everything changed. You know, Abba is a bit of pace, and he knew I'm going to put my foot there. We have and he just, and that was it. So we need youngsters to be studying off him, like, okay, those Rashinator, and let him talk to these youngsters. For the defense, I'm yet to find Jalai. Yes, Jalai is the boy to play the right back. I don't know why he didn't play today. But we need my center back we need ball playing center backs. Garananga is a ball playing center back, and he's a ball playing center back. But at times the decisions, his decision making at times is shaky, But we need boys that are sharp, that are witted. That's why that boy, I want that boy Antambela Norwich City. I want that boy to be given a chance with Ambo Uya. Yes, I want him to Ambo Uya, Timbo Mona what he does. You know what I mean? Because in every position, we need to have a youngster who can take over at the click of the fingers. So that's how, that's why Nigeria, Nigeria has got so many players. I was listening to your podcast. You know this guy Ntambira, Nottingham Forest, their right back. He loves the haircut, the afro.
Yeah.
Do you know what you were saying the other day on the podcast? You were saying Akan Jengwa. Then when he went home, then he said his mom said to him, "What were you doing? That guy just went past you." And then his father said to him, "You do that again, they're going to drop you. You know that." This is how. Imagine how. This is his family even worried for him. It's because they've got someone ready to replace. So no one is guaranteed. No one should be guaranteed a position for national team. Jude Bellingham, why? It's only fair because Rogers is balling. We all know Rogers is a baller. Rogers is balling, gentlemen. We may not support Villa, but Mbana is a baller. He's balling. Until he drops, he balls. Phil Foden, he dropped against Garapanze. The other boys were balling. This is what we want. If you're peak and you're shining, you play. If you're not, sit down. You know what I mean? So we need to engage all these youngsters we have. But I think for now, this is a good start. To me, it's a good start. This guy had the courage to say, "You boys are not playing. Chimbo Garaipanzi. It doesn't matter where you play. Sit down. I'm going to play the youngsters." And the youngsters played. I don't know whatever talk he's going to have with them, but one thing I know now they have in their minds is, if he can sit those guys down and I play, what should I do then next for me to keep playing? I need to improve myself. I need to up my game. That's how you get a player to up his game. Put him on the bench and then throw him in, or put the normal guy on the bench and start putting Ndortanganas. You over there, Ndortanganas. Do you have a problem with that? No. So go in there. It's one chance you get in life. You get one chance. What you do with it is what matters. You get one chance and one chance only. What you do with it is what matters after that. In football, that's what matters.
Yeah. Can I just quickly say something? I know out, not our Bopinda, our Africa. But I just want to say something quickly with what you've said, because I remember, we've had a bit of a chat per group each year. Oh yeah, but he's an idiot. Mwati, I hope he's not racist, and all that, everything that we're saying, because people were going on about the fact that they were not happy with the drop and Azemura and blah 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 for whatever reason we don't know. And did it? We'll find out later. Let's not judge. And did it? But now I want to tell you something. In I will judge now. Even though the certain does and did it? Why in Trubudaro? Whatever as a player, you know about coach. The buck stops with him. Whether he's an idiot, whether you think he's wrong with what he's doing, whether you think Arguti Tambai 5-5-0 formation and Urgudano Penga, the buck stops with him because it's him whose head is on the line. So whatever he's saying, that's exactly what you're going to do. Sakakana Argutizo, Iwewe Urguti, even cannot drill Yara Arguti Sergari, there are 1940. That's the drill that you do. Run 1940 was in DR in charge. I'll see you in charge. I see coach who are going are in charge. So whatever has happened, for me, I'm with the coach. And the reason why I'm with the coach is because the moment that you allow players to dictate, how things should happen, that's the end of you. And as well, if he allows that, then imagine if from the very first game, to allow my players with ITH, if he drops Munetsi, cannot threat na could drop Munetsi because hauna kuya ku 2 games is and did it.
Yeah.
It's only unfortunate Gutizo. We need him and it's to Sugapaji. Papa, let's just say Gutizo. Tatine mango ma qualifiers are daguitwa. And is it? Cannot tatine mango ma friendly games are after this. If he dropped the minutes and said, I'm dropping you because you've not played for me, Avandova and Tambira. Pongo sipo because wango shidagu gazeti team kwaku. And did it? He's got every right to do that.
Yeah. Because
whatever's Wolves doesn't help his job, doesn't help his case, because all you're doing is by you not coming, you're almost costing him his job. So if he then decides to go without you, it's also my fans because it's not I don't pay coach another day. So, but if you think about it, he's the manager. He's the one who calls the shots. He's the one who has to report and say why we lost 3-1 today per friendly. He's the one who has to say, chakata, can we try to do this? We're sacking you. So I'm with the coach. That's all I wanted to say.
Yeah, thank you. Mr. Zangalewa, I know you watched, I think, part of the game.
Mr.
Blue Foden. Do you have any positives and negatives that you take from the game?
I can't really comment on the game because I only watched a small bit of it, so it will be unfair.
Or what happened in the camp and selection.
So, but what I would like to comment on was the starting lineup. Yeah, on the starting lineup, there were some weird changes that I did not understand. Like you guys have touched already on it, but I would have liked to see like a mixture. Oh, and this Konega. Is that better?
Yeah, that's fair. Thanks.
Okay. All right. Okay. So what I was saying is, I would have liked with that team mix from the back to the front. But I think the changes were done, Kumberi. And then the most odd one was the right back one, Anonzani, dropping Jalai. I don't think in that team there's any better right back than Jalai. That's my opinion. from what I've seen him do and what I've seen the other guys do, I don't think there's a guy who is better than Jalai. And then to then see him dropped, either I would appreciate it if he has said, okay, I know how good you are, so I'm going to let you sit on the bench to start with and let me see the other guys how they do. He's a new coach and he has every right to do that, and I appreciate it. So if that is the case, then thumbs up to him. And then further up front, I think in the Rasika, there's the guy, I know it's Navaya.
Yeah, he's the one who started.
Okay. I mean, I'm not convinced of that guy. All right.
Yeah, you're not.
I understand why he was called.
You watched it, or you're not convinced by watching him, or you're not convinced.
No. I didn't watch him in the national team.
Okay.
But him as a striker.
Okay.
Yeah. So I know my favorite Tando was injured. That's why I would have loved to see him. I would have loved to see that guy Tino. Why was Tino not called? Yes,
Tino,
I know he's not. Yeah.
Tino is injured. He had an operation last week.
Tino Kadewera.
Yeah, he had an operation.
And I go with that Tino. Tino Kadewera.
Yeah.
No, he had a knee operation.
All right, I missed that one.
Yeah.
So I was thinking, that guy should have been called, because I know he's not a fan favorite. I don't know from judging from comments that people make on certain posts. I don't say but I think he has got football intelligence. The way he drops into midfield, helping the midfield and going back to his position, I think we can certainly utilize a guy like Tino. Probably not as the number 9, but maybe in the 10 position. But then that would then require us to find a position for Chirewa, right? But then that brings the competition for places in the team, and it can only be good. It can only be better for the team.
True.
So, do basically what I can comment on the team, like this selection. Yeah, it's good he has made changes.
Can I say something on the on the Jalai issue? Mushi touched on it. But I'm the manager. I make the shots. If you follow football, so when Moses Chunga used to coach, and you find Guti Munanonzano Gonandi, he would drop them, and then you wonder, but why is he doing that? Coaches have a way of taking control of the team. The way you take control of the team is you drop your star player. Watch. If you drop the star player, what signal are you sending? You're telling them, Goody, if I can drop him, you know what I mean? So we don't know what happened and why Jalai didn't play. But pound for pound, Jalai is the best right back we have in the country. That boy, it doesn't matter whether I support Dynamos or you don't. I'm a Cape United supporter, but I'll tell you, Jalai is there, man. Jalai is the Danny Alves. Where do Jalai? Let's not get it twisted. Danny Alves, where do when I look at him, no more gaja, but now I'm part of my haters. He just needs to go a little bit stable. Then I'll be haters. Mana, he's got that intelligence. He knows when he's being defensive. He knows when he's being offensive. And when Jalai plays, Mashwani shines because he forced Mashwani to push forward, and then Mashwani goes in his comfort zone. That could have been what maybe was missing today. But there's a reason until we know why the coach didn't play him, and until we know why he did what he did. But if he did that to get control of the team, to set the notion of Guti, I want you to know who's in charge. If he did that for that reason, guess what? Well done, coach. If he did that for that reason, well done, coach. Because no player is bigger than the manager. No player is bigger than the manager. No player should dictate to a manager how he plays, who plays. Every player sits down. Every player is told, "Garapas, kuchatamba ningi. Coach akati buda, unobuda. Okay? Kocha akati hausi kufire. Kocha akati da kutambisa nhasi kuchatamba yorugara pasi. Ndikoko you just say all right coach wogara. So what I'm doing is when I sit on the bench, now I'm watching with Al Arkuta stay because he's my competitor for the starting base. And so I look at what he's doing. Don't you? Okay, Al Arkudai, we are Kudai. You know, Kuno, you have multiracial people, cultural people playing Borandia. There's a youngster who came from Nepal. He used to play indoor futsal. He's playing outside. So I say to him, you know why you don't start? But I think I'm better than that guy at Tanga. Do you know why you don't start? You don't start because you and him do the same thing. What do you mean? You're only offensively minded. When the team is under attack, you don't come and help out. If you change your mindset, defender, guess what? You're going to start before him. He did that in one game. The Agapindari sub. He played 20 minutes. You were subbed. When he came out, the first thing he was told was, can you quickly rest? I'm sending you back. Then he said to me, so how did you know? Because I watch games so much, I see things. So all these players and these youngsters and all, was now tamba, never tamba. Now is the time to self-reflect and sit down and say, okay, I played Piper and I was pulled out. Where did I go wrong? This is where you get a video and you start watching yourself like, okay, in that position, I could have done that. If I had done that, in this one had come there, who could have done that, This is where the Tango team steps in. And this is where, as a player, Wega, you start learning these things, Uruwega. You start thinking about them all the time. That alertness that, gets into you. And collectively, you get to be a team player. But for dropping Jalai, whatever reason he did it. But if he did it to get control of the team to say, hey, there's a new top dog in town and it's me. Coach, well done. I'm telling you, well done. Because you start clipping wings. Papa, clip wings.
What will be interesting is to see.
Do you know? I'm actually okay. Let's just say his reasoning behind Jalai was, you know what? Maybe he thought the one he's used is better than Jalai. Yeah. I think all of us here as a four, we all agree. We've said this before about Jalai that, he's just quality. I mentioned that and I said he just looks like someone who played who came from an academy in Europe. Yeah. I can't give him any high accolades than that, for someone who's just been playing in Zimbabwe. And let's just say the manager, the coach, had other ideas. It wasn't like, just, sit there because I know how he plays. Let's just say he thought Jalai is not as good as the one he's using. That in itself is a good thing for Jalai because Jalai, even those levels that he is on, he would think, no, you know what, you mad. He'll be thinking in his head, you mad. You do not know, at a coach in my head what you're doing, yeah? Because you've put me on the bench or you've soaked me or whatever. And but it's not just what you say. And so Jalai now has been given more room because even now, if he was becoming complacent and thinking, because I've been playing so well, so he then starts thinking, even someone like me who's had this quality, the manager could still not think that I should be a starter. That in itself, it raises the bar for everyone. So if you imagine today, everyone, if we go onto groups now, everyone will be talking, Nakamba, Jalai was on the... That's fun talk. Yeah. Point of view
You're breaking up a bit, Kelvin. You're breaking up a bit.
Hello, am I? Oh.
Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Yeah, well, but, yeah. Anyway, I'd finished that, and I was just saying that it's done because everyone knows that they've got to be there for them to stay in the side. That's a good thing.
Okay.
Best thing to happen.
All right. Some interesting comments coming from the comment section. One of them from Mr. Elvis is saying, Aiwa, you guys pushed Niz to Taende. Niz was the better coach for the Warriors. I think we were assessing Niz based on the performances that we were seeing. I, for one, if you've seen the past videos, I said that it's not wise to fire Niz now, but some amongst us also had the view that Niz was not getting us anyway. So I think it was all part of the discussion. But now we've got Super Mario. We've got to support because they are kind of AFCON, and we'll assess his performances.
If
Go on.
If I may ask you a question about that comment, yeah.
Yeah.
Right. You know today's game, yeah. If we take all the NIS games, you know, that he had, and today's game, can we say that was the worst performance the Warriors have ever had?
No, especially second half.
Yeah, because we had a good second half. I've watched horrible matches, you know, with knees. Yeah. So at the minimum for one game, we haven't seen the worst that we saw with you know, but with knees. And I think this is the problem, you know, that I have in the sense that it's almost like becoming personal on this manager. Like knees, you know, judging a manager on one game. Yeah, because it's almost like it's a position where you're saying, "I told you so. I told you." It's like you're waiting. Even if this manager won today, and he wins again, and then we go to AFCON and we lose, there's people who will be waiting for the "I told you so." I told you. You know, if I'm being honest, can you hear me?
Yeah, you were breaking a bit, but now yes.
Yeah. I think I was lost. You lost me. I lost network. Yeah. So this manager, if I'm being honest, if I'm being truthful, I'm not even putting pressure on that manager to do well at AFCON, because if you're being real, that he's got one more game before AFCON, yeah?
Yeah.
What are you expecting from this manager for 5 games when he's got a new set, you know, the lads that he's never worked with before in 5 games? What are you expecting? You're expecting the team to have gelled, you know, to every player to understand where they should be, second nature and all that in a new formation. Is that realistic? Yeah, you know, let's remove our hearts there and use our heads.
Kelvin.
Yeah, go ahead.
For continuity's sake, I wasn't pleased with the change of formation. We don't have time to be trying a new formation on the eve of a tournament. You saw the formation na knees. You should have just tweaked that same formation and then just to try and get the guys better. But now a new formation with one game to go to AFCON. I don't think that was. I think we missed the trick on that one. You could have just tweaked the same formation. I know I'm not a coach, but you might speak better as a coach, Kelvin. But
I agree
change
with you.
formation on the eve of a tournament, and Fungot, it was a wise decision.
But can I say something? Look, yes,
I
we
agree with
understand.
you. I agree with you because
we understand it's a new team and it's a new coach. He's got his own style of doing things. But how long do we have before AFCON starts?
We only have one game.
We have one game. Maybe there will be some games that may be arranged just before AFCON.
Yeah, maybe just before.
Yes. So let's agree. I think the problem here we are doing is we've set a precedent that is not realistic. It's also we want to win. Gentlemen, we are going to AFCON and it's an adventure that we're going to. They will learn AFCON Ikoko. They will learn in style of AFCON Ikoko. Let's use the AFCON as a learning curve, okay? Because it's already too late to be setting standards. Kuti, he needs to win. We need to finish in this last 16. No.
Do you think
let him take the team? Let him take the team there as a learning curve. Let them play. Let them experience the atmosphere of the AFCON and then when he comes back and then when he starts to qualifiers whatever again. This is where people should start, really like judging him. Because now you can't judge this guy. He's just come in, and we can't say don't change the previous team. He can't change the team. It's his choice. He needs to change the team. He's a new guy. Let him change it.
No. I don't think he should have.
No, but I'm saying he should. It's his team. He should change it. I'm the guy.
I'll tell you why.
So, how do you want us to go for it for AFCON, and you don't want him to start his own thing?
You see, what advantages do we get by playing that new formation? What are the advantages of playing a different formation? The one that he played today. What are the advantages? Right. We already know. We already know.
Yeah. Okay, I'll answer. Do you want me to answer?
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Yeah. The thing is, again, and I understand the parties where some people were saying it's not ideal to change the coach, when we were in the position that we were. But I also understand that we were not going to get any better with what was happening. Yeah. So now we put ourselves in a situation where we've got a new coach who's coming in. Ideally for me, I go with in the sense that probably just tweak, a little bit, but still play, I've even mentioned the 4-3-3. Yeah? But however, because I try to look at both ends. However, that coach, when he comes in, he's not coming in to tweak what Nice did for him. If he decides that that's not his remit is to try to enforce what he wants, the team to play like. So we then have to accept it because we knew that we were probably going to struggle at AFCON with Nice. So I don't see any harm that at a minimum we might struggle at AFCON with a coach who's coming in, but he's now looking at what he's going to do with the team into AFCON and after AFCON and all that. So it's a tricky one. There's no wrong way of doing things, because it's like we're saying we've given you a job, but keep doing what Nice was doing, or you tweak a little bit for someone who plays completely different. That's not fair on him. So maybe it's Zifa who should have said, if we're not going to change formation, let's look for a coach who plays this formation. This is the reason why it's important for people who choose a coach to know what they're doing. You see, to know what style of play the coach that you're bringing in plays, so that if you want a bit of continuity with little tweaks, you don't get a manager who plays 3-5-2. You get a manager who plays 4-3-3. Yeah? So that can't be on the manager. That will be on the select committee, which would have got it wrong in that way. But if they decided that we're going to have someone who does 3 at the back, he's there, we can't then blame him and say, but we wanted continuity, so you've got to do what Miss was doing. Do you get my point? Yeah. So it's a tricky one. So now we put in a position where, for me, when I'm looking at it, I think Zimbabwean fans, yeah, because when we say Zimbabwe, it's collective, all of us.
Yeah.
We have too much expectations, you know, as a country. We have too much expectations. You know, we see this thing about our team. You know, even now, there's people who think that not getting out of the group is a total failure, as if we know we are that good to come out of the group. Yeah, because now we're being realistic. We ain't that good. We ain't that good. We believe that we that good. But if we're going to bring in someone like now, and if he performs a miracle and we come out of the group, great. But that's just getting out of the group is not the long-term issue for Zimbabwean football. To have an identity and actually start doing well from the administration to right to the, you know, to the football pitch. That's what we need long-term. Because, you know, in a tournament, things happen. Argentina lost to Saudi Arabia. You know, it happens in football. But that didn't make Saudi Arabia become one of the powerhouse of football, did it? It's just a tournament. Yeah. So let's be realistic, you know, but I think we need to reset as a country, you know, and not have too many expectations. You know, we can pick little things here and there, you know, mistakes that the managers or the coaches do, what the players do. But at the end of the day, if we are honest with ourselves, we know that we are exactly where we should be. Unless certain things, you know, start changing. And that's the reason why I said I'm happy.
Algeria now.
Sorry, what did you say, OJ?
I was saying I don't think we should expect to beat Algeria right now.
Oh, no. We're never going to beat Algeria. That is a given.
But did you see what happened? And I keep referring to the group because there's a lot of us there, you know, we're talking. The moment that we conceded, you could see comments like, oh yeah, you know, as if it's a shock, you know, that we've conceded a goal or 2 goals. It's Algeria. We are Zimbabwe. Let's be real. You know what I mean?
We're never gonna beat them. We're never gonna beat them.
I'm coming off the video for a sec, but I'm with you guys. I'm with you guys.
Okay. But I think I do get what you're saying in terms of changing everything. I think it was a shock, and it was very evident in the first half that the boys were not gelling. They were not sure where to go. Munashe was not sure should he go wide or not. Sean Wacho was Koko. He was not sure. Should I stay tight? Should I? So I think the formation was a bit tricky, and I think, as I said in the previous videos, it was always going to be very tricky to change the coach just before the tournament. Because, of course, the coach is going to come with his own things, and it's very tricky to come in and start performing.
Right. So, you see why I was. You see why I was mentioning that he could have just tweaked the formation that we were already playing. We had played that formation for a long while, so he has a set example. He has a template to compare to. Right, go on the pitch and give me what you can. Right, new players, not the same players, different formation in new players in the same formation. Right, then you see how they do compared to. This is what Zemura and Lunga were doing, and all the other guys that didn't play today. You see? So we already have a template. We already know how they play. So if we are going to assess the best in every player, it will be fair. It will be much more fairer to start with the formation that they are used to playing as a team together. Now, when you're starting to tell them, play a different formation. Yes, these guys are professionals. They can play any formation. that you tell them to. But it's going to take them a while, you see, and let alone playing new players who have never played together and playing a new formation. So I think that's what brought the confusion in the first half. Of course, in the second half, they got the hang of it and started correcting things.
So I was watching some videos before the game. I watched Mfana Fusire. I watched Maswanise speaking. Watched Arubi speaking. Not sure of the other players that I watched as well. One thing they all mentioned is that training was very hard and it was completely different to what they were used Nanis, and that probably it was very intense for them. So with what we are hearing happened in the camp, do you also blame the coach for trying to lay the low hard on the players after just coming in and bring changes all of a sudden, or it was necessary for him to come in and bring his stamp into
I think this was the moment to do it. If he was going to change it, start with a rigorous training, this was the moment to do it, because you cannot just start. Just show them, this is who I am. Just show them your cards. This is what we are going to do from henceforth. And then they get it ready in their minds that, okay, this is what the coach wants, right?
Yeah.
So if he was going to start easy with them and then change, why is he changing? Why is he being difficult? Is it because that we lost the previous game? All sorts of excuses starts coming up. But the first match, and you come in and you tell them, guys, this is our training regime. This is what we are going to be doing. From as long as I am still coach, this is what we're going to play. This is how we are going to play, and this is how we are going to train. So I think he did it at the correct time. On that one.
So now that I think we're playing Qatar in the next game that we're playing, do you think against Qatar should he make up with the players who he is said to have fallen out with, or should he continue with the youngsters that he played?
Can I ask something, OJ? I want to ask a question and then I'll say what I want to say.
Yeah.
What's the issue with the guys who didn't play?
There are rumors that are flying around various websites and various pages. It said the coach was very hard in training. Training was very rigorous, and it said he had a falling out with some senior players. Like, it's rumored those players who were not in the squad, like Lunga, like Nakamba, Zemura. I'm not sure he's even gone to Saudi Arabia.
Right. Now let me add in my 2 cents on that one. You see, if a coach comes in with a retraining regime, it's not for you to say it's too vigorous. Okay? He's the coach. He's got his style. Okay? And you're going to do...
Chuka.
Well,
that's who he is.
That's... Do you know...
What did you say? What did you say, OJ? I need to say...
not Chuka.
Do you know? Ask. Do you know what I found out? Do you know what I found out? I found out, Graboski, Aaron Kurva. They call him Kurva.
Yeah.
Do you know that's a profanity.
Yeah. So
that's the F word, guy. Yeah, in Polish, that's an F word. Hakuna coach asingatuke. They just control themselves. But the point is this: if a coach comes in if a new coach comes in, you expect new things to happen, don't you? Look,
my team Mapeza are not Tuka. You were saying Mapeza are not Tuka.
You see, this is the thing. This is the thing, OJ. I think Zimbabweans, I think we are so spoiled to the extent we are spoiled to a fault. Everything must be easy. Want to be babied. No, look, Every coach comes in with his new style. If a new coach is coming in, let me tell you, if a new coach is coming in, you notice there are going to be changes because every coach comes in with his own style. He comes in with his own players. That's why when coaches move across Europe, as soon as he lands, you hear the rumor dance because he knows those are his players. They are his style. And if you don't like it, if it's too hot in the kitchen, you get out. If it doesn't stand the heat, you get out. You don't complain kitchen. Get out, boys. But for them as Anzi, senior player, you see, this is we need to stop this thing. Senior players, like they've got the power. No player is above the coach. The coach says we're going to do this. Then there's a way of expressing yourself when you get situations like that. You don't say, no, man, so strict. Chama, let me tell you, Friday Pires to coach my under 18 one of the caps. Quite manual. Let me tell you, quite manual. Whether you like it or not, quite manual. Those who didn't like it stopped coming. Yeah. And those who took it in kept on running. Okay? So it's his style. You do that. If another coach comes in, believes, like Rashford, what was different in Barcelona and the UK? Those guys, they put more emphasis on the ball, on being with the ball all the time. On the ball all the time. So in the UK, we run. They emphasis on the ball. You see how it has changed, but did he complain? No, he just took it in because that's their style. The same applies, but if Zimbabwe Trakuti is senior player, this senior player, Garaipanzi, the juniors will play.
My blood boils. If those rumors are true, my blood boils, with things like that. Yeah, who's Marvin? Sorry, I'm sorry guys, because I was picking up something. You're calling me, so I'll finish off 2 minutes. Yeah, sorry about that.
Yeah, I think I agree with what Ray was saying. You see, when the coach comes in,
thank you.
Is that at that very moment, he has to stamp his authority. Yeah, whether these guys like it or they don't, that's why they are there. Like, because you are there to represent the nation, right? There are other guys who are wishing they had that chance to be representing the nation, and you are crying foul from the first minute that the coach gives you a training. Okay, do this. Akuzile, he has never seen you before. He is not aware of how good you are. Yes, he has seen some videos, but he wants to see you in person do something. He wants to know that if we are in a game situation where we are defending for our lives, and I tell everyone, you have to run back and defend. I want to know that everyone will be able to do it and still remain fit, like still remain with the energy to run again. You see? If that is the way he trains, who are these guys to say, we don't want to die? Like this,
Sorry guys, I'm back here. What I meant by my blood boils, with that is because who the hell are these players? Who do they think they are? To say the coach is doing this, the coach is doing that. Okay, let's just take it this way. That coach, on the day of the interview, he said, "This is what I do." Zifa took him on board after being happy with his methods. Yeah?
Yeah.
There's no one who has the God-given right, to play for Zimbabwe. Yeah? If we could, even right now, all of us, if we still had the legs and the skill and all that, we would want to play for Zimbabwe. But we can't. But there's a lot of players there outside the Zimbabwean, the lads who are playing for Zimbabwe, who would want to play for Zimbabwe. So no one has got the given right there. Not even Munetsi, not even Peter Ndlovu when he was playing, not even Moses Chungo or anyone. It's Zimbabwe. You play, you get old, someone comes in, replaces you. Even if the team struggles, Zimbabwe will still be known as Zimbabwe. So who the hell are players who would say to a coach, "Oh, you're making us run Too much. And if you look at it, players who tend to complain about a lot of running are the older players. Yeah, the so-called senior players, because their bodies have clogged up a lot of miles. And they're the ones who are more likely going to complain more than the young lads. Do you know what that means? Maybe you're no longer fit enough to play. Or you're getting towards the point where your body maybe is just not ready for things like that. And I'll come to the captain, because Mave is a captain and I know Mave has not been playing. If all these lads have been playing and they've been training and playing and they've conditioned and all that, and Mave has not been playing, surely I expect it to be hard on him. I expect it to be so hard on him because he doesn't have match fitness. Yeah. So the least that you could do is say, well, you know what, coach, I've worked hard and I'm feeling leggy now. I don't think I'll be ready for Algeria game because I'm going to need to rest. He's a pro. He knows that when his body is not okay, he's got to tell the coach. Yeah. And the coach says, okay, you're not going to play against this on this game. You play the second game or something of that sort. But for players to actually say they fall out with the coach because he's made us run too much, or he's, swearing at us at all. What nonsense is that? A lot of coaches swear. You know what? I would prefer a coach who swears at me and I still play. I would prefer that than a coach who doesn't say anything but doesn't play me. Yeah, so that is nonsense, and this is where you see how certain people have stayed in the squad for too long. Because why aren't we getting that from Jonah? Why aren't we getting that from July? Why are we getting it from Sean and all these other lads? Because players, when they start taking for granted the fact that they are in that team, they start, almost like starting to come with rules and regulations that they feel that the squad has got to work around. No, they have to work around what the coach wants. So zvakana kuzimbabwe kwacho pane taimhanyiswa Fred shamari takaita mamwe makochi anosiyana. The way you coached by Stephen Kwashi is the exact opposite of anonzani Moyo akaive Malume. Yeah, is the exact opposite of Matongorere. Is the exact opposite of Arthur Tutani. Is the exact opposite of anyone. Yeah, zvauya nazvo izvozvo, that's what you're going to do. Saka pane pekuti enter. This is no lie. Do you know Gutizo sometimes in Premier League in Zimbabwe, the games of Gutita Itamba got first 15 minutes, you're still leggy from the training Yamagaita. On the Friday or whatever. Yeah. Then after 15, 20 minutes now, we would say Wasununguga now. But would you say I'm not going to run on the Friday because I've got a game? Because you're not going to be in the game to play. Saka, you do what the coach says. So that's why in I'm prejudging what has happened. Whatever has happened, I'm with the coach. I'm not with the players. Simple as that.
Yeah. Just some comments here. Can we look at the match played today? How was the first half? First half, it was almost a disaster, especially the first 30 minutes. But we came back very strong in the second half. The first half was not good at all. Defensively, our shape was not good at all. It seemed like the players did not know what they were supposed to do. I would assume it's maybe because of the system that the coach was introducing. It was not good. However, there were some changes that were made in the second half with the likes of Chilewa coming in, likes of Msendami coming in, Prince Dure coming in. We performed much better. We lost 3-0 in the first half, and then we won 1-0 in the second half. How did the new players play? Sean Fusire struggled at the fullback that he was playing at.
Wingback.
It was not so good. Then young Fabish was very good in his central defensive midfield. He had some good touches. Liked him. Who was the other new player who played? Navaya struggled very much in the first half. He was not able to link up with his midfield again. Maybe it's because it was a new team and a new formation, and also he didn't appear like he was able to play as a lone frontman, as like in terms of holding the ball and bringing his wingers into play. So he struggled very much. But when Prince Dube came in the second half, it changed and it was much better. I hope I've answered this. So, for the next game against Qatar, do you have, from the players that are in camp, do you have any players that you would want to see, any combinations that you want to see cemented? I heard you saying that you expected Jalai to play, but at the same time, I think as a friendly, you also wanted to try other new players. What do you think about the next game?
Yeah, I understand now that I look at it with hindsight why you would change. You would leave Jalai. Jalai is not used to playing as a wingback. He plays as a fullback. Sakai Samfana Uyananzan. Sean.
Yeah.
Sean is currently playing as a wingback with Team Kwake.
But he's also learning that position by Koko Kwaji, because he was playing much.
He's learning, but the coach, you know what the coach said? He said, I think he's a better fit as a wingback than as a number 6.
Okay.
So maybe that's what this new coach, Mr. Mario, wanted to see. Okay, where do I play you? It won't be surprising if we see him next game playing as a 6. And what's his name? Fabish is on the bench. You see? Because at this stage, there is no wrong or right. He's just getting to know the players and what they can give you as a coach. I think that's what he's doing right now. So I would love to see a completely different 11 on the pitch in the second game. Probably a different formation as well, or the same formation, either way. But because we know we are trying out things, you see, because this is the trial period that we have right now, you see. So he has all the time and all the freedom to do that. He has room. After AFCON is finished, that's when his business starts, like proper business. Okay. Now from henceforth, we want to see what you can do. We want to see what you can give us.
I think we've all been saying AFCON Ghana time or AFCON. We've been downplaying AFCON, but we know.
Yeah, that's why I said after, because already everyone else, like you see, that's why I mentioned about formation. If you wanted to get anything from AFCON, you would have maintained with the same formation that the players are used to playing. So, but he's trying out the players. He's trying out things. You see? He's going to use, like what the other guys have said, he's going to use that tournament to find out whose players he's got in the camp, who can do what and who can play where. So we can then start judging him.
Is he going to be given any time by Zimbabweans or by FIFA to bed in?
I would think FIFA has to give him the 1 year that he has signed. You see, for him to see what they can give. It's a very short period of time that to say that someone has been ineffective. Nemam Jaja say, because internationals are not played every month in, month out. They are 3 months apart. So he has less games. So I would think he will play out his contracts. And then Zifa makes a decision. Do we continue with you or do we go with other guy? So this is why I say after the tournament, that's where he's gonna be judged. That's when he's gonna start preparing himself, because he's gonna be judged more on the qualifiers for the next tournament than now.
The problem is, you know why Niz was fired? Niz was fired because FIFA didn't believe that he was going, because they have a target of going after getting out of the group and going into the knockout stages. So they fired Niz because they were saying they wanted that. So if
that was the reason,
failed,
if that was the reason for firing Niz, then they screwed up. The FIFA screwed up the whole thing. You see, you don't then give another coach 2 games to prepare for a tournament that you want to get out of the group. That's asking for a miracle. It's not going to happen. If it happens, it's a miracle. If we get out of the groups in the AFCON, it's a miracle, and that coach deserves all the plaudits. But he is not expected to get out of that group. I mean, at least I don't expect him to get out of that group. And if he doesn't, it's justified. You see, he hasn't had time. He hasn't. We mentioned it in the other podcast. He wasn't given time. You see, to know the players, to do what he wants. He's just coming in with 2 games to prepare for a tournament. Yes, if they give him other games just before the tournament starts, that would be great. Like Ikogo, Morocco. That would be great if they can find 1 or 2 teams to play with before the tournament starts. But basically, I don't think he has been given enough time to succeed at that tournament. Yeah. If he succeeds, it will be just a sheer miracle.
It's tricky. It's really tricky.
And we can't blame him if he doesn't succeed. We can't blame him because he hasn't been given the time. You see, that's why I was saying after the AFCON, that's when we give him the time. We say, okay, here's the team, here are the qualifiers. Now you know the team. You played them in a tournament. You played some games before the tournament. And now let's see what you can do. Can you get us into this tournament? Can you get us into the World Cup? Can you get us into the AFCON?
I can already imagine the Herald headline.
You see, that's where the problem is. If Herald is now deciding the fate of the coach, then there's a bigger problem.
Herald is a product of all of us, because you will see on Facebook tomorrow, all guns will be on Mario. So,
yeah, but you see, if we want to be reasonable, Mario shouldn't be blamed for this game. I mean, what will you be blaming him for? He barely knows those players. He's just met them for a couple of days.
He took it on, guys. He's taken on the job. Because I think part of his contract is saying,
if that's what he signed up for, if that's what he signed up for, if it was mentioned in the interview that we want you to get us out of the groups, and he said, yes, I can get you out of the group, then he deserves to be fired after if he fails to do so. But I don't think that's what happened. I don't think that's what he agreed to.
Ray, what do you think?
Did he agree to get out of the group stage?
Yes,
exactly.
It's part of the contract, from what I've heard.
Then he's got nerves of steel, that guy.
But who in their right minds would even say we're going to give you a job, but you've got 2 friendly games and we expect you to come out of the group stages, into the group stages.
Exactly.
But part of the job description that was, we want someone who's been to AFCON, someone who's had the experience at AFCON, so that he's able to get out of that group.
Not this one. We are assuming you get us into the next one and then get out of the group in that next one.
No, this AFCON. Why would we have fired Niz if we didn't? If we did, they fired Niz.
And Niz was fired for his results. Look at his track record.
Yes.
He failed to win a game. If you finished the bottom of the group,
Yes,
5 draws or I don't know how many.
But what do we think a new coach will do in that short period to be able to bring that such of a change?
I am still not in agreement with you to say that he accepted that you get out of the group, because that's ludicrous. How does anyone even accept that, unless if he was desperate for a job and then he's just going to say yes to everything, to every demand that is being placed on him? You should have told them that with the time frame that is that we have, we can't. That is an unrealistic requirement able to even get out of the groups.
I don't really want to attack him, Mandit, but I think we haven't really discussed the new coach. So I really don't want to go into attacking him. But in terms of the caliber of the coach that we took, and it looks like we just took the same caliber of coaches that we've been taking in the name of foreign coaches. In terms of
That's where we
taking,
afford, OJ.
yes, those who we afford. So we've taken a coach
The,
who we can afford, and his track record, it's not that great. So I think he is a type of a coach who I think is one who would be desperate for a job, because it's unlikely that any top country would get him. So we are like the type of country that would get him, and if we offer him anything, I think he will take it.
Hey, OJ, I've got a question. In these things, when they start, when you start talking about such issues,
Yeah,
we are saying this is the type of coach that we can afford, right? Fair and fine.
yeah.
Let's stop there. And then we have switch on line. And then we have people that give a team that wins the championship 250K for winning the championship and the league.
Yeah.
250K. Now, as a country, are we saying kuti such people, like if people can have money to give a team that's already rich, it's like you get $1 million and then you go and give Bill Gates $1 million. What are you doing? So that $1 million, that 250K, say it was put towards, let's just say,
Towards the
hypothetically
coach,
speaking, it was put towards like getting a new coach.
the
Say,
proper coach.
since you can afford to give 250K, right, to a team, give us that 250K. 250K is a lot of money in US dollars. In terms of US dollars, no coach gets paid that much money. And say, let's hire a coach with a known track record and pay him with that money. It would go to a better use. But then we have people that defend such things. Someone said he does that for his ego. Yes, if he does that for his ego, then let's stroke his ego, and so that in the end run is beneficial to us. And he can go to the media. He can go to the media and say, yes, yeah, I sponsor the coach. Yes, you sponsor the national team coach. But then we get a guy that's right for the job. So if this new guy, if he signed a contract to say, I'm going to take you out of the group stages, well, then did someone look at his contract? Is there a clause in there that actually suggests that if you fail, we're going to fire you? Because if there's no clause like that, and they fire this guy is going to sue them. Remember that other guy we had who had to be paid a lot of money after they fired him?
Tom, is it?
Valinhos,
Okay, yeah, I remember that Brazilian Valinhos.
Yeah. So I'm saying these contracts are tricky. Do we have lawyers that look at them and say, and add in that clause to say, if you fail, your contract is based on failure or on qualification to group stages. Failure to that, you are terminated. Because if not, let me guess what? We're going to start looking for money to pay this guy after he's been fired, and then we need to
pay the new incoming coach.
Do you know?
And guess what? My last point, Kev. Sorry. And guess
Sorry.
what? zvakachipa zvinodhura. Let me say this in Shona and then translate it. Zvakachipa zvinodhura. This is why I say zvakachipa zvinodhura. You get a pair of Jordans, anditika, you get Jordan 11s, arapa. The authentic ones, they cost $250. And then you get my fake Jordan 11s, aruta $50. Ukatenga the real Jordans, utenga my fake ones. The fake ones are going to tear with this short space time. Then you buy another one. Then you buy another one. So you realize in the space you're keeping that one pair for $250, you're going to buy 7 pairs for $50 each. They're not lasting. The duration is different. Anditika, why can't Zifa? Let's just be frank here. Why can't Zifa really get the house in order, get money? Okay, get sponsorship, get money, corporate sponsorship, proper corporate sponsorship, not fly by night, sponsorship, proper sponsorship. To say we want a corporate corporate world to come in. Their specific job is to pay for the coach that we're going to bring, and then agree to say, this coach is coming in. Can you at least pay at least what is Hugo Boost on 90? And 90 is it 90? Is it 90,000 rands or 90,000 US?
I think around 90,000, between 60 to 90,000 US.
Right, and say we have this guy. We want to pay this guy 60 to 90,000, right? US. So this is what we want. We want the corporate world to come in for this guy. If this guy comes in, and then these companies in return, sponsorship and what not, right? And then go for a proper coach with a known proven track record, and bring him in. Because these chop and change scenarios that Twitter, they cost the Zifa more. They're costing Zifa more. How long has Nis been with us?
Yeah.
And how much was Nis getting paid?
I think it was 10 grand.
Right. For 1 year, 10 grand. That's 100,000, 120, whatever, gone. Before that, there was another one. Before that, and then we keep changing. We bring in locals. Shifting. Turaku vara. We're trying to close buri pakulika mvura using sticky stuff. Instead of tipa well day, panyatsovarika. So all I'm saying is, Zifa needs to get in order, get sponsorship, corporate sponsorship, get proper sponsorship, get a guy who can pay the new coach 90,000 a month. There are people with that money. We all know there are people with that money.
To pay Mario, they cannot a proper new coach.
No, proper new coach who's worth 90K. I'm talking about Anna Harv Renard. I'm talking about guys like Harv Renard and other guys out there. Get Harv Renard. How much do you want? I want 100K. Get corporate. We know there are guys who have money. Who love the limelight. Tell them, Kuti, Pacha Uya, you are the guy who's going to every press conference we have, you're going to be sitting next to him. We know they love the limelight. And they love the ego. Don't stroke the ego. Stroke his ego to your advantage. Kuti, okay, Garapa side nai. Who's
problem was when I was you see it like a team. Hey, I would not jamar nessa 60 yangu hapa. Saying ingase kutamba. That's why corporate world is very important. Panema individuals, I heard.
But you know what Ray? I was just thinking in terms of my sponsors. I was thinking even could EPL and as we speak, could some guys who are questionable, but they are club owners. But the thing that they've done in England is that they've set up structures and procedures. Even UEFA. Ana Roman Abramovich and it. Kananda Russia, they made money from Pagata Boom, Pagachidwama system, Pagazopidana Putin. They made money and their money was questionable. That's why they were then sanctioned. And it, you've got an American Israel, one go on Doji and it, but they are putting their money into football. But for some marine football, kune structures are command na England kuti hazvizonyanyo affected in terms of running FA or running a club, but the problem yatirikuita isusu zvikananda zvirikupinda zvapinza mari yacho zvirikubva zvada kutoset team and that's bad. So Zifa now it comes to Zifa now. The problem is the councillor wacho ari kuzifa ari kufanira kunge achiita regulations around football. Is a councillor akapromiswa 10k kuti akwanise kuzopinda mucouncil, Zifa council. So they are not going to bring any change because they are airheads. They don't have any idea about what they are supposed to be doing. They got in because they were given money. So yeah, it's really tricky. Do you have anything to say to that now, or we move on?
No, nothing to add. Nothing to add.
Yeah, but you see, OJ. You see, Anna Roman, and let me touch on Roman Abramovich. Roman made his money, whichever way he made it, and he just took advantage of the situation in the country. He made his money, and I don't know my oil or Gladys, whatever they call them, and but you see, you can't talk of Chelsea. It doesn't matter how you talk of Chelsea. You can never talk of Chelsea without mentioning Roman, okay? Because for Chelsea to be who they are right now, it's Roman. Roman came in, akatenga club here. Roman will tell you, Roman aigara kunze so. Zvonzi we need a new manager. Oti murukudane, zvonzi tikuda usho. Oti aruda mari. Obva amusaina. Anditi amusaina obva coach obva ati tikuda ningi. Roman aitenga those players. And then in 10 years obva ndida kuwina. Ndawina championship. Ukatadza, he would fire you. You see, to me that is point blank professionalism. Ndakupa zvaunoda, iwe chindipa zvandinoda. But instead of demanding zvandinoda, instead ndakupawo futi chi zvauri kuda, it doesn't work. Handiti kandiro kanoenda kunobva kamwe. Roman would provide the players. Handitika. And in turn the coaches would provide the championships, the Champions League. Handika. That was the relationship and it worked. That's why Roman stands out. Handiti. That's why Roman stands out. But this situation isusu, we don't give the coach what he needs, but want to demand from the coach. You know? Because we cannot work like that. And there's a question here. This is a proper question. What do you think about people behind the scenes causing instability in the national team because their own personal agendas, including some from media, especially the media and football administrators? This is what I'm saying. The whole Zifa thing is this thing is to the core. It's rotten to the core. How do media people? How does a journalist have influence in the national team? Amana Zimbabwe journalist an influence in national team. I don't think coach journalist don't know who plays. Urani won't know who plays. Uri journalist. Chingonyora what is happening. You just report what is going on. Too much power. Power is just thrown around. Power. No, team must have structure. You have a media person. He tells the public what they need to know about the national team, about what's happening in the team, and that's it. Media, my questions, the media guy, media manager, and a coach and a captain, you ask them questions, they tell you, and then you report on that. If you feel there's nothing, you keep asking the questions. Not kuti wato blogger because you've got 40k followers. Ningi should not be there. Ningi should be playing. Ningi should not be there. Are you a coach? Ningi should not be there. Are you a coach? Ipapa hana pana coaching certificate but arudaidzira boss ndi journalist. Katifuda minister out play team mangu rivana unotamba. You see, this thing started Commander 17. Uyanfana kutamba. How you see ndakabvunza up to now no one has answered me. I want to be answered nanas under 17. Mwana wa Lazarus Muhoni captains Kaizer Chiefs Academy under 17. And it but akanza auye kuma trials. And it now my trials are 4 days. Tell me kids traveling from the UK wherever 4 days. From Australia it takes you the whole day, 15 hours to get to South Africa and an extra 2 hours to get to Zimbabwe. That's a day gone. And the kids needs to rest and then needs to get into the mood, jet lag and all that. Also, more up 4 days. And we called them for. You can tell this is influence. Any question you my administrators and what they've interest in their boards. And if you look at what we've had them for so long. You start wondering, does this team ever change? Under 17s called up. You look at it, it's the same names. But you can read one name in your head, what was what room Zivak. But because every time his name is always there. It's always there. It's always there. It's always there. Offering nothing. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. Anyway, we move on to the next.
I think yeah, I was just going to say quickly. I was going to say, probably what I said about this coach. Hopefully he's the coach that I was talking about, in the sense that like what he did today is causing controversy. Yeah, it's going to we know that it will cause controversy. Yeah, and I want him to stick to his guns and keep doing what he needs to do. And he's not going to listen to anyone. And he says, if you're not happy with what I'm doing, if you want your players to play, I leave. I'm not going to play players just because you want them to. Maybe that's what we need.
We've got an interesting comment.
Interesting comment. I keep the views and comments coming, guys. This is interesting. Felix, I'm
very interested to know.
Felix, you want to know you.
Coach Kev, you're going to go recommend.
Tokupinza mu UK yo. Toita kanzatu kutengere ticket toenda ma-12 na Coach Kev.
Tikuite unakamba weda anokutamba pese.
Yeah.
Anyway, guys, the next issue, another hot issue which has been there in the past week has been the National First Division proposal of having one National First Division and then having 20 teams in 20 teams in PSL. I'm one of the advocates who have been calling for one National First Division because I think having four first divisions could dilute quality my players anopinda into Premier League. I know some people have got disagreements, and I do understand in terms of sponsorship, my clubs are in first division. Some were saying some clubs cannot afford to go around on first division. But I was thinking, with Kanamato Division 1, you should be a team which is ready to go a step up higher into the PSL. So you should be ready to be going around the country. And if you're not a team which is ready to do that, then you should not be playing Division 1. It's better for us to have less teams who can afford that. Yeah. Then the other controversial thing has now been the addition of teams in PSL. I think the controversy has been maybe we now want to say I don't support Nyae 20 teams in personally, but I think it's something that we'll discuss. In my view, given our population in Zimbabwe and given the number of players that we have that are playing pro, I think we should have even less teams. For example, we have Gordon and Scotland and Scotland, the country, not Scotland, the club, and Belgium. I think they have got 12 team leagues, 14 team leagues, which play each other many times because of the size of the country. So, yeah, it's been controversial. What do you guys think? Is this a plan to save Dimbare? What are the pros and cons?
Look, I'll go first. First, let's start with 20 team. The 20 team NFD, and
NFD is into one league.
NFD
from 4.
NFD. Let's start with that. Economically, it's not a smart idea. Why? We've got northern, southern region, and why are they grouped like that? Because they are in the same region. It's easy for those teams to travel to each other, and even though it is for them, most of these teams they're finding it hard to be run along, except the ones that are sponsored by big companies, like ZPC Kariba and Megawatt, which is ZPC Wange, and it. They're finding it hard. Right now, Collier Chache Wange FC, they find it hard. They used to be sponsored by the Collier, and when the Collier was still, functioning, 100%, that it was one of the best sponsored teams in the league. And but you see now, if these teams have to have one national first division, think about it from Victoria Falls to Manica Diamonds and Itka. That's one end of the country to one end of the country. The players need to leave on a bus from this. These guys are not flying. UK, they're not flying. They're going by bus. Bus zero, they need to take stops in between, and they need to be accommodated somewhere. We are saying already financially it's not viable for these teams to be doing that. They need to go all the way to Manica, one more time, and after that they need to come back. The risks being involved, fatigue and all that, not just on the players, on the drivers, on everyone. And it does not, to me, I don't think it's a smart idea. Why if something is not broken, do not fix it. Okay.
But what do you think about the effect on the quality of having, because we have 80 teams that are there, and some of the clubs, to be honest, they are supposed to be Mapusa, but they are in NFD.
Yes, but you don't put the quality of the leagues onto the number of the teams in there. Okay, the quality has dropped. Start from the Premier League. Quality of Bora has dropped. Let's not. The problem, gentlemen, is we want to avoid the elephant in the room. Quality of Bora has dropped. Quality of Bora has dropped. Quality of Bora from way back until now has dropped. Let's start. I'm going to give you an example. Let's start with national team. With Premier League. We had my strikers back in the day. How far should I go back? Maybe go back in another segment or come down as well, where we can all understand each other.
We can even come back to 2010 Jago, we had 20 goals.
Right, Analena Tsipa, Anditka. Analena Tsipa, Ana Zenzo Moyo, Ana Joseph Mwanza, Ana Makreza Navaya. Do you know a guy who's Makreza Navaya? I tell you Zimbabwe Saints. Makreza Navaya, those guys, those guys, on average, those guys would score 20 goals on average. And it, I couldn't go bronze, top golden boot, I want 24 goals. And then Argumtera Wacho, I ngakakundwa ne 1 at 23. And then as we were coming down the line, top goal scorer I 15 goals. Out of 32 games, I 15, 17 goals. And that guy is the top marksman in the country. And now ask yourself, if that guy is the top marksman in the country, Achitamba 32 games in a season, Achipeda 17 goals. What does it tell you about the quality of the league we're playing in? Now that does not mean kuti this guy it's his hagoni, but maybe there's no competition to push him because he's competing against IB9. Now, no, Musa Seke. I want to clarify this issue. I want to clarify and tell you why. I want to tell you why we've such a poor league. Rentals. Rentals, Tambani 11, and one of them is IB9. IB is 54 years old. And he plays in that team. When all things being said, if all things were being said, kunzi standard, it is standard. Team you ain't shot up Dara by one man. You know that, right? But no, teams Zotota Zakuto Ijga, Arimo, IB9 where Arimo. What does it tell you? Tell me something. IB9 and it say, let's just say hypothetically, Dayaga Tamba, it period they kept in 1996 year. Period they kept here Yamshauria. Period Dimbare Cafe. Do you think they would survive?
No,
the first 5 games. The first 5 games they kind of relegation. But it was kutopu team here. It tells you the standard de bora yedu has dropped. Because we allow basa. You know, some people tell you, hey, Mariake, if he wants, he can play. You see, this is the problem where we want to mix nyadze mari nekuti ndechake azvifambirani mari ndeyake. Yes, imagine kuti yanzani Daniel Levy anotamba because I own space. You know, really, come on. You know, we cannot do that.
Yeah.
Standards have dropped. Dimbare, you know, kunotambira Dynamos, kutambira Cape United, kutambira Highlanders, kutambira Zimbabwe Saints was not a walk in the park. Ngoti nasi aru Dynamos mangwana aku Capes. No, paito garwa pass kunzi uda kunotamba uko. Do you know who you're in competition with? Ningi anditi. That Dynamos here yekuzoenda final ye CAF here, Africa CAF here. My friend, that team was just levels. Because they even bought mama players. Vakaunzana ma gents, vakaunzana gitiza na Santos kumwenda. That team was the team. Anditika.
Yeah.
That's level ye bora ndiri kutaura kuti kana tichiti league yedu ine bora teti tukuona kubora. Anditi. But yes, we get 17 goal strikers. Twatati know his hot property. 17 goals, guys. Amana takaura ma strikers. Ana Tsipa, ana Mwanza. Ana makreza vakubana vaizunza dweri. So all these things have nothing to do with my leagues. They have nothing to do with quality bora. Quality bora has fallen because we are allowing mediocrity to just happen everywhere in our football.
But mediocrity are weird in my numbers. Like, for example, what I'm saying is, if we have 80 teams in Division 100, it means that if we had former divisions, it means that pama 80 teams yayo 20 angachifanira kunge ari mudivision 1 zveshuwa, 20 angachifanira kunge ari mudivision 2, 20 angachifanira kunge ari mudivision 3, 20 angachifanira kunge ari mudivision 4. But now it's weird ndapangana, everyone is in that whole thing. So is it kuti hatina junior policy here, or it's also because weird tinapangana, everyone now has a ticket to the PSL?
One, Atina junior policy, which is a very vital point. It's gone. Under 11s, under 12, under 15, under 16, under 18, reserve side, first team, and all that is gone. And Anamushawa, they're all products of a junior policy. All these guys, Anamusa generator,
You too.
and a Sifas teammates. I'm saying the guys who eventually played Prem, they are products of a junior policy, you know, being groomed stage by stage. Now the problem is this: Isusu Boraredu, we don't view it. We view it differently. You talked about Anna Roman and what auntie. I'll tell you the difference between Isusu and Anna Roman. Roman, he knows good Munese knows the team deyake. He knows that people know the team deyango. To him, that's enough. And he knows any success here team reverts back to him as the owner. But no, in India, we talk 20,000. That not a team. That not the boss Ray. That not the boss Ray. Murizwe Ray United. And why do I want to be boss Ray United? Say for instance, Andika, I've got $1 million. Andika, I love football. Andika, I love football. I go back to Zimbabwe. Andika, there's Wange FC. Wange Chipangano is about to go into the Prem. I don't need to change Zita in the Ray United. No, I go and sponsor Wange in the sense that whatever they wear will have a reflection on me. Andika, their kit will change. Andika, it will have my name, my company name. Andika, then I bankroll them. Kwitra kuti, if in the event that I fail to continue sponsoring, another one who's backed up will step in. What changes is the sponsor and not the name of the team. You get my point? Okay. What changes?
Yeah,
is the sponsor.
You are saying we should have kept my legacy clubs. Like, for example,
yes.
If Scott is coming in, he should have been saying, I want to sponsor a Black Rhinos, I want to sponsor a Caps, I want to sponsor a Dynamo.
And picture
this.
Picture this. Scott Nemari so that is poured into the team. Anditka, which is a good thing. Sport a lot of money. He's made a lot of changes. That team is top class. Whatever they do. Okay. Whatever is done, that's top class. That team is top class. Imagine if that money he had put it to Dynamos and said Dynamos didn't sponsor Anditka. I want nothing but the best. Anditka. Best coaches, best players. Quality would have been way up there. Anditika. That
Yeah.
quality will force other teams to rise up there. And because in Africa, yes, they know dynamos. Africa, Scotland, they know Scotland now, Anditika. The other Nigerians when TikTok or something, all the they spent Vakaitaka make a clip. So you know how much time, what they spend their time doing on that team, talking about Scotland. They're talking about the money. They're not talking about the team. They only said, oh, Scotland have just crowned Zimbabwe champions. Oh, that team is rich. That's I suppose they're Nigerians. They spent 3/4 of the time talking about how rich the club is. No one was talking about legacy club yacho. So if we stop this kuti I have the money so out team which just yakunzi Ray United, yakunzi Yada, yakunzi what and focus on how do we channel that money back into the traditional clubs and then revive the grassroots junior policy. Then those with junior policy, only the talented kids go up. Only the talented kids go up. If you're not talented enough, we're not talking about Division 3. It happens, it's life, it's a situation.
Yeah.
But now, because ndeyangu, this is where you get that guy, when akatambisa mwana wake ane 15 years, ndewe mosere. And some people are clapping hands for that. What is that? No, honestly, what is that? So I have an IB9. We clap hands for that. I don't clap hands for mediocrity. I don't. IB9 kumabuza chako anenge achitotambura nesu tikatamutamba naye mabuza anenge achitotambura nesu because but he's playing Premier League yenyika and then you expect nyika to produce better footballers. No, we can't.
Yeah. What are your thoughts, Blackhead?
Yeah. I think I sit on the fence because, as usual, knowing me, I always try to look at both sides of the equation. Yeah, and I get where you're coming from in terms of diluting a team. Menophonic with a noise. I don't know whether.
Funny echo.
Yeah.
But it's okay. You can hear.
Yeah. So my team can it for ASA Division 1. Then that means she would dilute she quality. But on the other hand as well, you then expect with my team my top teams are in each league they should just be coming out into the Premier League then. Problem, create what can let's just say my top team by 80 teams it was. My top team 20. And then 15 of them over under one in a game.
Region.
One group, cannot 10 of them under one group. Mamwe 10 went down a group. You cannot mamwe 8 went up near group, mamwe 2 went up near group. Rimwe Aritori Nagana big team. Yeah. Then that means remember big team 2 me. My dilute was singing both 18 my team or no rubbish teams. Same as but that's already between the best papa. But 20 best papa, they shouldn't that 20 best. Pani want to relegate from that 20 best, they were going in the same group. So the weakening part of it, I get it. Good. But on the other hand, the realistic part now, they're good. Environment and resources are conducive for my changes here. Are we in that position? And I don't think Zimbabwean football is in that position. It's a noble thing because your point is 100%. But my team Ashona and the football no kwanza kuita izos. Because what it means, I'll give you an example. Right here in UK, yeah. Ona pane, like if you look at semi-professional, I did it. Semi-professional, which is probably, which we know from Conference North and all that, Maliga is Zimbabwean football, is Zimbabwean level. That's a fact, when I get in Arganoshi. but vana groupa in a way yekuti kune teams dziri south, kune teams dziri midlands, kune teams dziri north, yeah, because vanenge vachiavoida travel iya yekuti team iri kuLondon isaende kuBlackburn kana kuti isaende kuNewcastle because it's too far, yeah. So now if we say my semi-pro team are actually more professional than my team Zimbabwe, and I know finance was really none pane matimu ekuZimbabwe, how then do we expect kuti matimu edu ekuZimbabwe taita izvozvo sezvataurwa naRay kuti tozova-expecta now kuti vabve vari kubva kuHwange kuenda kundotamba kwaMutare? You know, how feasible is it going to be? Because if it was, it's a good thing. But I don't think it is Zimbabwean football, from an economic point of view, could be able to sustain that.
Sorry, Kevin, we say a comment. This guy is so paid, Felix. Felix Chimbomira man miss why you strike. That's comic ill done for Felix miss one man. Felix Chimboti join that Chimbosend Felix link and boy up.
He's very funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know it's a tricky one. It's a tricky one. It's a tricky one. In Zimbabwe, one thing needs above everything. The main things is in Zimbabwe. Needs Mari, maladministration. Those two things.
Yeah.
Those are the biggest.
Give me a good example, Kev.
Because you could be surprised, Baba, but let's say what decide the way you're you would see as well kuti kune matimu asiri tombori deserving anopedzisira angoenda because of who they are. Because who doesn't? I know then decide kuti the matimu atakuda kuagrupa kuti tisvike matimu, bear in mind matimu esanga ari division 1. Kune timu dzakufanira kuenda division 4. How is it going to be done?
I guess only got for the top 5 in each league and the division 1. Then our Onopinam division 2 very much regions.
Unless can I work with the top 5, yeah, maybe that would the top 5 8 division 1, then 6 to 10 division 2. Yeah. Yeah.
Do you know, I'll give you an example. You know, like decisions that are made, football decisions that are made, you know, that affect communities or affect the game as a whole. You know, Guti ZPC Wange qualified when I'm Prem, right? And then both the ZPC Caribant and then the ZPC Wange. They're sponsored by the same sponsor, right? It's Zimbabwe Power Company.
Yeah.
Do you know, Kuti? And then what came out was the excuse they gave was you can't have 2 teams sponsored by the same company in the Premier League. Now, question I had was who put that rule? Is it the Premier League or and then at the same time, Wange was demoted to Division 1. So it means the people in Matabele North from out of Blawayo going that way to Victoria Falls have a Premier League soccer action, right? Now, instead of ZPC Wange saying, okay, fair, fine, Isusu, that's the cause. Instead of us not doing this, Takupa Wange franchise yedu, and they gave it to Moss. Moss is based on Norton, and Norton is only 40 km from Harare. So the people of Victoria Falls, Wange, and all these surrounding areas are starved of Premier League soccer because the decision was made to send to send that team there. Now, if this league comes in, and then some teams that are there, that are not financial viable, that cannot financially compete in this NFD, it means places like Bedbridge, Victoria Falls, Wange, and so forth will forever then be denied of Premier League soccer. The only time people watch Premier League soccer is if they go to the big towns. Do we want that? Because their teams, what are the chances of their teams will get promoted?
Yeah, it's tricky.
But it's financially demanding, so they might just say, look, we can't do that. So that's what I'm saying, like keeping the leagues as they are. We know that if Wange tops the league, they go to the playoffs, they make it, Premier League soccer comes back to Wange. So people in Victoria Falls, Wange, Gwai areas can watch Premier League, can actually say, oh, Dynamos was here, you know? Highlanders was here, Caps was here, Scotland was here. You see, because most of these kids, they'll never know Scotland FC. They'll never know how flashy those guys are. Because as long as Wange Singapinde in Premier League, they'll never know how flashy Scotland is. You know what I mean? But people in Kariba know Scotland is flashy because ZPC Kariba is there. So do the same for these teams that are outside. Let them play in their divisions. If they qualify, let them go into the Premier League. Playoff, go into the Premier League. You know, someone spoke about, like decentralizing Bora from Harare. This will come down to this thing will always be a Chincheko Harare. Just like Zimbabwe cricket, Chinchango Chincheko Harare. You know? It's not a nationwide thing. Chato Takashinga, Chato Cheko Harare. We need to stop that. Keep the regions as they are. Let them play. Let them sweat it out amongst themselves. But what FIFA should be focusing on is going back, make sure there's grassroots football starting again, so that we have players that are rising on merit, that are being promoted on merit until they get to the Premier League, and that's how they improve our. Because look at Kwekwe United. And then also this thing, I don't know, Kevin, I want your input in this. I don't understand it. Team in Premier, Anditka, you're relegator, Anditi. You're relegator, the team that qualifies to come into the Premier League. No drama players, the team here relegator, you what Tamboko. I mean, as a coach, I want input here, Kevin. As a coach, don't you think there's a problem there? Because these guys were playing like a relegator. And then what's going to change?
What are my players? Relationship iri papa ichi ndechi.
The team was relegated, and so those.
I mean, the two teams didn't have any relationship.
These guys just come and sign for that team.
So the coach where team irgu promote wa argu over angoti agusena chima players angachi are relegate wa. Yeah. Okay. The thing is, football is funny in the sense that we sometimes as coaches, sometimes real things, sometimes yeah. And so now what happens is every coach thinks that the only way that I can have a chance of surviving in the top league, or in whatever league Yandrugu promote, is through players who are experienced in playing in that league. Yeah. So that now comes even to the point here, even some players who have been relegated with a team, those coaches are still seeing those players. They've gained enough experience to be able to go again the second year, run a team away now and try to keep them in the league. Saka, there is always a case here. Just imagine this, and I've always thought that it's a bit unfair. Every championship team in UK, Zinonzi, the championship final is one of the biggest revenue revenue making game in the world. That's what they say. Yeah. When the team wins, you see everyone celebrating, and it jump say, but you are rest assured with probably 20 of them will be leaving the club. Yeah. 20 of them will be leaving the club because probably club about 25 players, Wajango Sarane 5, they're going to do a wholesale.
They're going to buy Premier League players.
Yeah, so you only celebrate the fact that you've put the team up, but you're not going to be there to get the rewards of the winning. Yeah. So and Ugazitarisa, it's always the players. Premier League players who have got experience, but you end up seeing as well sometimes those players who end up having even double relegation. They would have relegated the team. Yavasiya uku vobva vatorwa vobva vadzorwa futi kunzi vane experience vorelegate futi nayo.
Ndo zvandiri kutaura izvozvo. Like,
You see, it's a crazy way of doing things, but I think mubora mune notion yekuti it's like end of the season. Yeah, everyone thinks with this, oh, I have to strengthen. Yeah. So even when you don't really need to buy, they'll just buy because they're not going to strengthen. But how often do you see teams when they say they're strengthening and they actually weaken?
Yeah, worth.
Exactly. And there was a comment here, Buddha Pengekanzi, don't you think local, did you see that ish? Don't you, towns should invest in their local teams, it builds community pride, nature's talent, and strengthens. Right, I want to give you a good example. This year, this is very important, this. When towns invest in their local teams, and you see Kuange they had this, they had like an area zone and it league yavo, and then they had team division 1, they had Zesa Wange, and then the Premier League they had Chipangano. So players that used to play area league Miami and Ditka, they were local teams sponsored by local community centers and all that. Players that were deemed we are not gonna ainzenda kuzesa Wange and it. Unotamba zesa wange if ukatamba neexperience ogona kana unogona anonzienda kupi ku Wange FC kuchipangano anditi. And then you see you could tell kuti there was talent. I remember there's an under 20 team yakaenda under 18 under 20 team yakaenda ku South Africa. There's a guy named Marvin Longwe. Do you know Marvin Longwe? Do you know a guy named Marvin Longwe? Played for Motor Action. This guy, this youngster was from Wange. Let me tell you, I've seen people who can dribble. I'll tell you this. I've seen people who can dribble. Vitalis Takawira could dribble. Mave was like that. Malvin Munuwese knows. Those that know me can come on right now and tell you. Malvin was like that. Malvin was not in
I remember that name.
I've heard that name.
He was in the setup, and he wasn't in the setup under 20. I went to South Africa. I don't know who got injured. Dikoko. She can bring a replacement. You know, he played one game. Do you know what South African journalists were asking? They started asking the guys, the team is Zimbabwe, if you say face we are Kwanu and now we are as a cover up, what are you trying to say? Who selects this team? Malvin was that good, but Malvin was nurtured in the local area. And as a youngster, as a youngster, Malvin same na method Mwanjali. As a youngster, because the local communities nurtured them, and then they got into and then they played for Wange, and then they moved. You see what I'm saying? This is a very good point. Local teams, local communities, university, local teams, you bring to the community pride. You destroy the communities and you take away something. We know it's the world's most beautiful game, and football unites. Football, there's no sport that unites people like football world over. Football unites people, whether you like it or you don't. Football unites people. Support the same team. Pane support Islanders Dynamo Islanders bora no pera. And people were laughing, but I did not affect you. First year was straight. You're a Islander supporter. There's no way Dynamo Islanders should be allowed to be relegated. It's a fact. You cannot do that. Zimbabwe Saints Yakaenda, it was one of the big teams. Yakaenda, it's gone. What else is left there? In Bulawa, you knew there was Zimbabwe Saints, there was Islanders. In Harare, there's Dynamos in Cape United. The big teams. And then you have Anna Black Rhinos, and then you have all these other teams. The league was so entertaining. You could go to Bora, it didn't matter Kutichi, Kutambachi, was what you need to Gwanzura, to end up Gwanzura, Marenda Kurufaro and Kurufaro. Bora, it was just that. But now, people don't go Bora on the Kurutamba, Shesham, Anzi. No, I'm I have nothing against Shesham. I have nothing against Shesham, but I'm just saying, Kuti.
That's the honest truth, though.
It's not appealing. That's what I'm saying.
It's not appealing. It's not appealing.
But you can see Dynamos in Wange Kurufaro. I want to go and see because I'll be reading about players. Kuna ningi, and it. So I want to go and see, and then you have Vans Kwekwe United, and I'm looking. You got 5-1 home in Scotland, and I'm thinking, so you have Vans Kwekwe United. Irkuya Harare, irkuya Zutamba ne Yada. Why would I go quarterfinals kunona game miroro yadda ne Kwekwe United? Why? Sunday
No, they don't have capital.
I'm not going to do that. It's not appealing. I want to go and watch games that are appealing. You see, I want when you say Lancashire Steel is coming to play Dynamos Ndinoenda, because we knew Lancashire had top notch players. And Jikanzi Wange is coming to play Ndinoenda. Jikanzi Dynamos is coming Ndinoenda. Not come on, gentlemen.
Zvangofanana kane munombo kuti ukanzi watomboona uchitarisa magame ariko bvanzi kana kuti Sunday 4:30 ubonana kuti yakanzi Bournemouth versus Southampton. Do you really think kuti izo munhu achanyatsoti weekend yangu ndichamirira Sunday 4:30?
The difference now is that iyo Bournemouth ikakonika 10,000 seater stadium kako kanditi. The whole of Bournemouth will be buzzing. Like the local Bournemouth will be buzzing for that game, and they will go for that game. And they will have their rival in Southampton, Ikoko. So yeah. I think
Kelvin, you know what? Just the next 4 days, I have a friend. He's British. Look, friend is. I don't just line up in my game. And I don't a message with guys. Both the time differences and over at 1 a.m. Let's meet at Lloyd's house. Why? Because Kune Chelsea versus Spurs, and then they'll be Liverpool versus Man U. I tell you, train I'm all Lloyd and from 1 a.m. to 4 a.m. Tichona Bora. You see, these are the kind of thing the big teams bring you together because it's exciting.
Yeah.
But it's Bonono Irkurana never told.
Yeah.
What are again Gorara boys? Those are my highlights. And that's true.
My 5-minute replays.
Yeah.
You know,
that's very interesting. So guys, so you're not going to congratulate Scotland for winning the league.
All right,
we have to.
Jealous. Let me start. We are jealous. Congratulations to Scotland, Mabvira, crowned champions. But in capital letters. All right. Congratulations, Scotland. All the best in CAF. And one thing, Bora Rinyepi. And I'll wait for CAF and I'll follow them religiously. CAF. Both Bora Rinyepi. And I'll be proven for 1 point. Timon Machope is a gunslinger. That much I'll be proven. Timon Machope is a gunslinger. That one, hold me on that one.
How did we miss Timon Machope when he was younger?
I don't know. maybe he's that type of player. You know, some of these players, Antika, where they come from. I want to tell you what I experienced. Maybe this could have been what Machope went through. Anzan Grabowski was holding training what Kustanchat Sports Club, and so we went there. You know, maybe Tamba mentions Tamba Bora free pass, which pass on 10 passes, Chichichi. I passed the Bora, Rigapura paside, Vemo Feso Chitung with Aranditi Chicho.
Okay.
You understand? So you need to understand my dynamics of Bora Zimbabwe. And I think I see Ega, Laning Wakawanda, so they have a voice.
Yeah.
And they have a voice, you understand? So maybe, I'm just saying maybe, Timon maybe went through such a phase, made him doubt himself until he finally thought that I know apana. But I tell you, that guy, Timon off the ball running. Look at Mago Bora in Scotland. You know, Scotland, no, in a Panama Mago Bora, no go saka. Timon, the timing, Yanutaka Kumanya, Pane Bora goes up for pass na knowledge. You know, he left the center striker position. He drifted to the left. Defender did not see that. Knowledge saw him. Knowledge akatamba saw. You know what Timon did? Akango as a goalkeeper so. Angato pick up spot kudara and then he just lead it. That is a quality of a striker. And it all right, Hans Ndisati, congratulations. Hans Ndisati, congratulations. All right, touch media. Congratulations, Scotland. Mabvira, Scotland FC.
Yeah. For me, yeah, I say congratulations to Scotland. And the way I look at things is, however you get to where you get to, you still have to do a job, you know, and you did a job. you did a job, what to get. So people can talk about money, can talk about the money influencing getting better players and all that, but that's the game. That's what football is all about. It happens here in the UK, it happens in America, it happens everywhere. Yeah. Those who've got the money will get the best players, but sometimes you get the best players and you don't do as well. So you still, you don't get the championship because you had the most money. The players still have to perform. The coach still has to do his job. So they did well. So congratulations for that. The jury obviously is still out, with the CAF, like that's been said. And my worry on that, and I wish them well, and I hope that they do well. My worry is that they are a good side competing in a very, very poor league. Uh, so can you up the game when you're in the CAF, when you competing in CAF, can you up the game because you get so used to playing the way that you play, and sometimes it can be difficult then to put something more into it when you're playing against this side, because in CAF every single game you're going to play is going to be difficult, whereby in the league they know that most of the time it's just going to be slightly easy. So if they can raise a game and do well in CAF, then good luck, for them.
Yeah, my thoughts, Ango, on their calf journey is, my thoughts, or my suggestion would be, Jakarta Dynamos at that time when they were played in the calf pipe and Itka, they went and reinforced their team with players from other teams, notably very good players. Very good players. They brought in Analov Mungube, they brought in Ana Gidiza, they brought in all those guys, and those are signs that we are going for this all out. And okay, you won the championship, Anditika, with this team, Anditika. But like Kelvin said, going kunzoka uko CAF kwakaipa, my teams in West Africa yakaipa, neku North Africa, they don't mark around. Kunoro wabora. So you need to also up your game.
Do you know what I think they actually need? I don't think there is quality in Zimbabwe that can elevate them from where they are. I think they need to go to some decent African countries, because they've got the means, they've got the financial means to do that. I think they've got to, sort of import players, to stand a good chance of winning or doing well in there, because you know what, and I keep on saying this, and I know probably people who watch the podcast actually think these people or this guy
especially you, Kelvin, they think
especially you.
Yeah, but it's because people do not want people who tell the truth. People want people who sort of batter them, and in the sense that you're just telling them what they want to hear and all that. But like I've always said, I don't talk to people. The importance of what I say is something that's coming out from someone who walked the walk. Yeah, I'm talking the talk, but I walk the walk as well. So I saw it firsthand, and if I was someone, I probably could be saying, "Oh yeah, but you know what? I smashed it as soon as I got into
right, guys,
UK."
I have to drop off. Sorry.
Yeah, okay. And I would say I was great, and I was this, when I came here. But the reality was that I didn't do so well to start with when I came here. So I understand that, and it wasn't just a one-off. It's something that I've seen. Even now we have players who have come from Zimbabwe coming to UK. A lot of guys have come, through course and all that. And I manage them at Team Zimbabwe. Well, we've got, our Team Zimbabwe UK team is massive. And I would invite you, in the summer when we when we have our tournaments, and you still see that the teams that we play against, and bear in mind, we're saying these lads actually were maybe 6 months ago they were playing in top flight in Zimbabwe, and they come and play against the boys from here, and it's a struggle. It's a struggle, So it shows that it wasn't a one-off or whatever. It's the fact of life. It's a reality that our league is not strong. Is not good enough. So now, and that's the reason why I have reservations about having too many local players in the national team. Because we might satisfy ourselves by saying we're promoting local football, but if we look promoting local football at the expense of doing well in the national team, then if that's what fans want, keep doing that. But if you're being real, you've got to realize that there's so much our local players lack. So much our players lack. And you know what? Up to the point where a lot of them, even the conditioning itself, they're not very well conditioned, for international football. They're not, because it's not something that you can just do in 2 days or so. It's something that has got to be learned, but something that you've got to have the right people doing that with you, what the training, how you eat, how you train, how you rest, how you sleep, and all that. It's not something that you can just say, 2-3 weeks, and then all of a sudden you're good at it. It has to be second nature, and it lacks in players like us. So I'm not criticizing players. I'm criticizing us. I'm criticizing myself. From when I was in Zimbabwe coming here, I realized that I was not up to scratch. Yeah, that's what people need to understand when we say these things. Our local players, the majority of local players, they're not good enough for international football. They're not. It's a fact, and it's always shown. I'm not saying that all the European-based players are the best. No, I'm not saying that. But I'm just saying that we're more likely to do better with more European-based players than local-based players. And the proof is in the pudding. Look at all the other African teams. Bar maybe one or two or three who have the majority of their players they've got a standard in a good standard in terms of their league, but the majority of them, France, in Zimbabwe, we criticize, we say players who play in Sweden are not good enough because it's Sweden. It's not Premier League. It's not League One. It's not Espanol, it's not, and we're not thinking that no, you know what? Even in Sweden, someone being a pro in Sweden, they've got something about them that our local player won't have. So now it's got to a point where, and I think the executive don't help as well, because it's almost like every time when you hear them talking, you realize that they've already given a mandate to the coach that he's got to incorporate, the Euro-based players and the local. So when coaches are doing that, it's almost like a prerequisite. But should it be like that? Because if a coach feels that there is not a single player from the local league who is good enough to play, then there shouldn't be anyone from there. If they feel that it's only July, it should only be July. If they only feel that maybe it's July and the young Musona, let it be young Musona and July.
So do you think when Scotland is going into CAF right now, they would need to have my friendlies with clubs like South African clubs and maybe Congolese clubs and Zambian clubs for them to be all prepared for what they will face?
They need to play against teams which are better than them. You test yourself with teams that are better than you, or that are supposedly better than you, or teams that play in a decent league who perform well most of the time.
Yeah.
You need to test yourself. If you don't test yourself, because think about it this way: if Look at. We can give an example of PSG. PSG could, there's a time when they could just walk the league, and
Yeah.
PSG could have 12 games left and they've won the league already.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how easy it was for them. But how many years did they try to get to win the Champions League and they failed?
Yeah, it was.
Because the level that you used to week in, week out, when you then consistently meet teams who are of your same ability and or higher, that's when you get found out. Yeah, PSG, oh, Mbappe this, Mbappe is world beater, he is this, oh, now they've got Messi. Oh, they've got, Neymar and all that. Yeah, nothing happened
Yeah.
because it
So,
was easy.
okay. Yeah, it's tricky. In terms of the coaching, Ndiraya has won league twice in a row with different teams, Zimbabwe and this year with Scotland. So in a way, we can say he's been the best, locally based Zimbabwean coach in the past 2 years.
Yeah.
Is it just resources or he's been able to utilize what he's been given? Because last year, Zimbabwe was the in thing that he had money in PSL and he was able to win it. Then this year, again, but I'm just wondering what he would be able to do when he gets to CAF, when you then meet coaches who are able to make changes.
The one thing I wanted to ask you is, does he have the qualifications to go
CAF
take
Pro.
it
I'm not sure if he
to
has
CAF?
CAF Pro. Yeah, I'm not
Is it
sure
CAF
that.
Pro for you to take a
Yeah,
club to?
yes, even a club they're changing. I think they have changed. They now want in CAF competitions. They now want CAF Pro. So I don't know if he
Is it
has
not?
CAF.
Is it not the reason why there was a rumor? I can't remember. He
That
did
knees is being considered.
about the knees and all. Could it be that? Could it be because of that?
Ooh.
I would be surprised that knees would make a move like that, but people would do strange things though. Yeah. Because I remember someone, it was mentioned, and I was thinking, oh, so you don't have the CAF qualifications, and which is sad, and unfortunate for Tonde because he's done really well, to win the league with two different teams. It's the same as we were saying about Scotland. That oh yeah, people will say you've got the money, you still have to win. And he still had to implement his ways to Zimbabwe, and they won. And then did the same thing with
Scotland.
Scotland and won. Yeah, it's crazy because Tonde, I don't know what qualifications he has, but at the time when he went to Simba, I think they got into the Premier League, and there's certain qualifications that were needed for a coach in the Premier League at that time. And because the manager who put Simba into the Premier League was Arthur Tutani.
Yeah.
Who is a very close friend of mine. He's my big bro. We grew up on the same street.
Okay.
Yeah, and he's the one who actually signed me at Sporting Lions.
Really?
When Sporting Lions was going into the Premier League, yeah, they were pestering.
Was already coaching then.
Yeah.
Tutani was already a Premier League coach then.
Tutani was a coach at Sporting Lions. When Sporting Lions started the season in Premier League, Arthur Tutani was the coach, and then he was then the job was given to Matongorere. Is it? I think I left when I was at Matongorere with Joe. That's when Joe came as well, because I had left Joe at Caps here, because we've always been very close, me and Joe, and Joe then came to and became a player coach at Sporting Lions.
Okay.
Yeah, so Yeah, so Arthur, so I know that Arthur, because I remember him telling me that he couldn't coach in the Premier League because he didn't have that sort of qualification. But Tonde had that. That's the reason why he took over. Eh, If I'm
Okay.
not mistaken, if I'm not mistaken, I think it's like they wanted to make Arthur an assistant. You know, like you've been the coach and then you become the assistant because they don't make it
That's
tough. Yeah, it's a
that's
harsh one.
tricky.
And he ended up leaving and then took over another team in in Division One.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's football. It's
Yeah.
crazy, man.
Very interesting. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think we've had a record. We've had the longest episode today. We're getting to 3 hours because there was so much to discuss.
Yeah.
So I think after the Qatar game, we have a shorter one.
Yeah. That's
We'll
cool.
just discuss the
Yeah. Okay.
that
And
game.
I didn't use the light because I got it late. I got it late, they delivered it late, and then I thought, oh, I would need to set it up,
All
and
right.
oh, that's why I just thought, yeah, next time.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
But thank you to all our viewers. Please do share with your friends and please do share the links and please do keep commenting. Your thoughts are welcome and your feedback is welcome. We are still starting, but of course we keep on wanting to try to improve, to make things better, and to discuss things without fear or favor. So yeah, thank you so much for
All right.
being with us for 3 long hours.
Okay, that's fine. Take care. Thank you,
Yeah,
viewers.
thank
Cheers,
you.
OJ. Okay,
Goodbye.
bye. Bye.